She'd be an acid piece if it was tequila in there. But
Ugh. Not a good plan.
so we're kind of doing the end of combat wrap up of things. The obelisk looks back to kind of what it looked like beforehand. However, there was a big pool of water here on the outside. I don't know if you guys remember when you first got into this area. That has completely evaporated. That is gone. There's just sort of a 2-foot depression over here where there was a bunch of standing water. And all of the 404 that are around are all unconscious. Alana is still conscious, although she's very afraid from the whole situation. Like she is not in a good mental space, and has sort of pressed her back against this wall over here and is sort of holding herself, looking around, sort of trying to convince herself that the danger has passed. And our friendly neighborhood First Legion officer is going to be walking around and sort of waking up the other legionaries that are unconscious, spread around the square.
Of the 404?
The 404,
Yeah.
So yeah, what are you guys doing in particular? Does anyone have anything they want to do? Because the city is eerily silent. You can kind of hear some maybe crying or calls or people kind of hushed talking in the distance. You hear some shuffling and some movement on like rooftops and in balconies and stuff.
A baby crying.
A baby crying in the distance. But it's mostly very, very quiet, even quieter than, sort of getting here at night. You would expect.
I wonder how the draft.
I'd like to ask Clotho how she is.
So Clotho isn't doing the thing that she was beforehand, where she was sort of shifting back and forth between looking like different people that had worn the mantle of power previously, where she was sometimes the Eladrin, sometimes the Goliath. She's staying in that sort of mannequin-esque prototype looking base form. And when you try to sort of talk to her or try to, like, hey, how are you doing? She doesn't really react or respond. You can tell that she heard you, but she's sort of disconnected from what's going on around her.
Oh no. It's like an empty shell.
Little worrisome, yep. I'll say, no, Lakessen was her mother's name. What are her epithets again?
One of the morning.
You can also call her my lady, because that is what she.
Yeah, so I'll try calling out like my lady and see if anything kind of snaps her too by using like different epithets and stuff.
She does look at you, but you very much feel like you're standing in front of a statue. There's no presence of a person that seems to be in front of you. Even when she moves, there's something sort of uncanny and surreal about her looking around at what's around her. And even when she looks at you, you get very little in the way of recognition of things from her.
Can I conjure my spiced bread power and like offer it to her?
So she looks at it, looks at you, and then she just sort of shakes her head. That is a gesture I could have understood, but not something that can help me now.
What can help you now, lady?
So she thinks for a second. I must recover more of what I am. And she shakes her head and says, no, I know what I am. I don't know what I am in relation to other things. I recognize nothing. She's looking around at the city around her, the people, everything that's here. This is all different. I'm not connected to this place. Except she kind of steps forward slightly where Drock was sort of trying to get her connected to her. And she lays a hand on his shoulder. This, I think, could be something. And then she looks at her hand. You see she's looking at on her arm. There's these like chunks missing, these bites that have been taken out of her. That the wound on her chest and the wound in her stomach, they're all healed over. But those little bites that have been taken out of her, all over her arms and legs and torso, those are still there. They aren't bleeding wounds. They're just like scoops of flesh that have been taken away. And what's left behind is this sort of like bloodless, sinew and bone that you can see underneath. And then she kind of looks at her arm. And you can tell that she doesn't really know if there's something she's supposed to do about that. It could be something. But
Was they there before?
the scoops out of her,
Yeah.
they were since you guys have gotten out of Hopeslayer's attack. So when she had the pieces of the tendrils that were wrapped around her
Oh,
that had
okay.
taken bites out of her,
Yeah.
but they don't look like they healed like anything else. Like other damage that she has taken looks like she just heals it through. That doesn't look like it's healing.
Okay. And can other people? Is she still invisible to other people, or?
No one seems to be doing anything, and I mean, technically, Amar is the only person who's conscious and paying attention to what's going on around him.
He's not really paying attention.
But he's focusing on getting the 404
Cool.
functional, unconscious.
I want to like go over to him, and be like, Amar, I think we may be in some trouble shortly with the officials of Silverspire. You seem to be in good standing with them. Will you attest to what happened here on our behalf?
So he's shaking one of the 404 awake, and you see there's some sort of like mental thing that he's doing. He's not just physically shaking the person, he's using some sort of technique where he's like touching the person very specifically, almost like he's touching pressure points. And you've seen one of many use psionics frequently enough to sort of recognize the process of someone working through something like that. So he's doing some sort of psionics to the person, kind of wake them up and get them functional mentally, like kind of shortcut them back to some version of mentally like awake and aware. And he kind of like stops at the end of helping someone and looks up and says, yes, yeah, there's going to be hell to pay here. He looks around.
A right pickle, to be sure.
He kind of like looks down. He's over here off to the side, so he looks down one of the streets and sees like 40 bodies on the street. Ugh. It means something a little different for one of them than it does to one of us. And he sort of shivers for a second. A single life to live. Curse I wouldn't wish on anybody. All right. But no, yes, you've done a thing here of some kind. Truth be told, I wasn't truly around for some bits of this, but it did look to me like there was a box of real nasty over there. And then he kind of like looks up at Griffle, and then he glances past Griffle to Filibuster and goes, and one of yours opened that box of nasty. I'm not saying that your fault, but if I'm questioned, I tell the truth. You did good work here, but to mine eyes, it looked like it looked like there was a box of nasty that you all opened there.
I would not ever ask you to lie. You fought well and with honor, and we would not besmirch that. But we have it on good authority that whether we were here or not, this would have happened. Is it not better to spring the trap yourself, so that you may be prepared for it, than to walk blindly or leave it for some other to spring?
He nods. No, yeah. I'm not a tactics guy, but sounds good to me. Just he kind of puts his, he's got hands over his bald head, and then you see him sort of like massage his neck a little bit. That was not what I expected. I don't know what was going to happen today, but it wasn't that.
Yeah, look, it's pretty wild, but you get used to it.
So he keeps going, moving people up. He's like, so you're telling me, does that mean you're not going to be around when questions start getting asked? I'm not going to be one to stop you. And I don't mind focusing on my task if you need to be on your way. And can say truthfully that I was busy getting these fine folk up and standing, and you all were gone before I knew what was what. But if you're staying here, there's going to be some hard questions.
Seems like the sort of questions we may not necessarily be able to answer, and I look at everybody else.
So I'll say to the group telepathically, I don't think we can leave without the 404, but at the same time, if we wait for them to become awake, then we will probably be answering questions. We also, how many days left till we have to be in Hardholm? Or Hardholm? Haven? Sorry, Haven?
It's one day.
One day.
This was our quick
A quick sidetrack. Our little shopping excursion, yeah.
So basically so I will say that you guys know that the 404 have, like, they are known in the city, they are known factors, the Legion is its own thing. The Legion has its own sort of standing on some kind of ground. So like they would not be immediately in terrible waters if the city questioned them. And they were also kind of around when you guys were doing stuff. None of them were sort of directly involved in what happened here. So while I do understand that we wouldn't want to leave the 404 here, your characters would be aware that like they are known enough here that there's probably going to be a good bit of benefit of the doubt. And even if there isn't, some part of they are members of the Legion will mean something. You guys aren't really formally tied.
I think JP meant like because they were flying with us as protectors of clothes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like I'm not worried about leaving them and them being in trouble. I'm worried that if we leave them and they find us, they'll maybe hurt us for ditching them.
Well, they'll be mad.
Not hurt us.
Well, you know.
That is another thing is they have been given a task. And if you leave before they are up,
You just need to wake the fuck up, dude. Like, get your shit together. Like,
Yeah.
It's a war. Why are you taking a nap?
They were supposed to protect us, not us protect them. Come on.
Is there commander? 444?
yes, he was up first.
What was his name?
Kaid.
Kaid, that's right.
Right. So I think I would approach him and say, Commander, this battle will not reflect well upon us. What do you suggest would be tactically wise for our small party at this time, considering our standing in the city and difficulties as to date?
So he licks his lips, doesn't really meet your eyes for a second. Well, I know what orders I would issue to those that would follow them, but it's I don't want to give an order and an advice. I can't give something that might lead to bad places. Your character, seeing this interaction, you can see him sort of like almost like hit like a mental wall, filibuster, while you're watching Kaid. And you can tell that there's something that is like truly shaken him. And as he sort of fumbles through it, he's like, I can't give advice that might lead to death. So do whatever it is that you do. You can see that there's part of it, he's like trying to speak in a way that's more normal, but he's fumbling through things, and there's a certain like posture that he has where like it looks like he's trying to look good in front of the soldiers that are also coming out of things. You try to be the example. But something that Hope Slayer showed him has like shaken him to the core.
Mm.
Was it implied heavily that this is going on? The disease sheet? Probably level 2, maybe? Stage 2?
Well, he just saw the things that we saw, right? Where he saw like his life was meaningless and he would die alone, kind of thing.
And you can tell as he kind of fumbles through what he's trying to say that with your passive insight, probably some part of the way Hope Slayer attacked him was the idea that every order he gave would lead to death.
Okay.
Every command that he issued, everything that he did.
Yeah. So, Commander, we understand that this battle was mentally taxing. You know what we just fought. Do you not? Do you recognize our enemy?
He looks over at the sort of broken remains of the Avatar. Rumors and dark stories.
We can assure you these rumors are true. We understand that you are shaken. I need your advice now. I need you to snap out of this. We need you to advise us.
Get your shit.
So give me a diplomacy or intimidate. I think diplomacy is what you're going for. I think.
Sure. Is it?
I mean, it's a question for you, right?
Yeah.
15.
Thanks.
You're going for whatever you want, but using these green die, you're like, I can do whatever I want. I roll nothing but crits, bitches.
Want to see the time knife?
25.
25.
Yeah.
So, you can see that him sort of like, ugh, yes, no, I'm going to need to submit to review, me and my men. There's an outpost of the Legion. We will go there and we will be cleared of any mental infections or contaminants. That has to be first protocol. You understand? But what you're going to do, if you'll let me know where you're going, we'll do what we can to meet up with you. And he kind of looks around, and you see as he's sort of like, all right, I'm no longer dealing with my own shit first, and then I'm dealing with the shit of my soldiers. When he actually like looks up and looks around, and he sees that there's just like looks like tons of bodies of civilians in the streets. You see him like, oh, but you all may want to leave, especially with. He kind of like looks past you all to Alana with what you are and who you serve. The war is not supposed to spill into here. And they might not have an easy explanation for, he gestures to the obelisk and kind of the area around it.
So they do a divination.
Is that what you say?
No, just general gooberness. Yeah, I would not say that. That seems foolish. But that seems foolish to say out loud. That doesn't mean you don't say it.
Yeah. When does that
But-
intersect you?
So my thing is the comment is like, oh, and if they do a divination, and then they'll know. Will they?
They probably they would. We even have proof of that.
Do we?
Yeah, because when the eye thing happened, they did the divination and said, oh, people associated with On to Song did this. It's the exact same situation. Kind of.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Depending on how they phrase their questions, right?
And what would the divination say happened here?
Oh no,
Baneslayer was stabbed into the obelisk, right?
that's not. It would say
On the
servants
Song.
of On the Song.
Yeah.
So
Fine.
again, it depends. It depends on how the question's asked. So,
Right.
so like the thing that I'm trying to say is that, divination would show that we are in the right here. It very much depends. You guys have learned. You've dealt with enough divination specialists that they all have their own perspectives, right? And when they ask questions, what they ask is important, right?
Can you
Mhm.
refresh me for a second? What are you talking about when you say when the eye thing happened?
With the Night King, when he
Yeah.
lost his eye, his court did divinations to find out who attacked him. And it
that's
said-
servants of us.
Which I guess
Okay.
the question was who attacked the Night King, and the answer was servants of On to Song
Mhm.
or something similar.
Yeah. I mean, you guys don't have
As opposed
that
to
exact answer at the moment, but
Yeah.
yes.
Then the second divination.
Well, as opposed to
That
you could say
Imperium,
who
something.
caused this.
Do you remember what the second is? Like the actual wording is?
I was gonna look
Yeah.
for it, but it'll take me about 20 minutes.
I can pull it up pretty quickly. Hold up.
So
But it's trust
But I would
not
not
and
say that.
something and something.
trust not
Just-
divination, for it reveals more.
Well, thanks, Gary.
Now he's forthcoming.
Oh, you have this is not
Now that you don't
have
have to,
written
now
down.
that you don't have to stare at me, or now that you do have to stare at
I don't
me.
actually remember the full thing, so it is helpful. I think it's something along the lines of
pull it up.
trust not in divination. It shows more about the caster than the truth, or something along those lines.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
not an artifice, lest you be deceived.
Yeah. Are we gonna convert to imperialism?
Flash. Adversary.
Does that mean
Yesterday, good guy.
does that mean we have to use the imperial time system?
That alone makes it.
Read the calendar.
3 minutes in a glorp, guys.
No, the Imperium time system, I think, would make most sense to you guys because their main thing is they don't make any sort of adjustments for time zones or other planes or anything.
Oh,
They're like,
like
fuck it, this is Imperial time.
the Arizona.
Nothing is different.
Wondered why I felt like I was at home on that ship.
It was really hot.
Yeah. And kids were dying, you know?
Yeah.
It was raining blood.
Arizona.
Imperium fleets. Send the second divination. Trust not in divination, for they reveal more about the one who cast the stone than can be seen in the ripples of the water.
Yeah.
Mm.
It was identified by Clotho and has an utterance of the mother's name.
Yeah.
This is the world
Yeah.
of ships. And
Yeah, the ship.
Yeah.
All right. So Captain Quark told us.
That's Ratchet and Clank.
I got the cue.
Yeah, you did.
Cade.
Hey, you-
Okay. Captain Cade told us we
Should get the hell out of
should
Dodge.
get the hell out of here and tell him where to go. So, Captain, do you recommend a safe space where I can rendezvous with your party later? And do you recommend a course for extricating ourselves and our ship peaceably?
he looks around and you can hear like some calls and movement. There's people in the city that are starting to sort of react to all the stuff that's happening here. And he says there was some mention on the ships and in Three Trees of Haven, if I remember. They've got several spins there. The Legion has. We can make it there. We need to go and follow protocol. But after that, when you make it to Haven, we can go there, and if you aren't there, if you get close enough for ascending, you've got mine and my second signature. If neither of us are, if both of us are compromised, we will send someone with our signature that can receive ascending. And as far as getting out of here, he kind of looks around and you see like there's people moving down streets and some chaos, and some of the people that survived that are in some of the nearer buildings are coming out like looking around. Some of them are starting to like daze, like look through the people on the ground to look for people they know. And he says, terrible to say, but there's the fog of war. No one's really going to know exactly what's what for a little while here yet. If you are to head away, sooner might be better than later. People that are here, in the middle of all of this shit, this is where the questions are going to start to be asked. And the further you are away from it before the questions start getting asked, not that hard to get ahead of things. It's really hard to stay ahead of things unless you go a long way. You can see that also looks like it sort of triggered something he had to swerve away from mentally.
Very well, Captain. Thank you. We will hope to see you in Haven.
Is Haven actually safe for them? Like, Haven's about to be in war.
We're
Yeah.
hoping to avert that before they finish their cleansing.
Yeah, we just have to do a quick assassination.
Oh yeah, we're super good at sticking to plans,
He's
so
gonna do a quick assassination and then prevent a giant armed force and something probably a tertiary force that we don't even know about yet. But that's beside the point. But
Small agenda.
Ah,
So-
yeah, they can handle themselves, right?
Not wrong, Drug.
Yeah.
Just an asshole. That's a movie quote.
But also you can see that like Kaid is
Yeah.
he's focusing on the stuff that he knows about and that he's pretty sure actually happened.
Yeah.
And that is a much more comfortable than trying to come up with another answer
Mhm.
other than, all right, I'm pretty sure there was discussion about Haven at some point. Let's do that because I don't know what else is going on in my brain right now.
Okay. Are we all comfortable with
Yeah.
Yeah.
going to Haven as quickly as
Yeah, I think we need to
Mhm.
bounce.
Alright.
As we're running, we'll stop at a shop and I'll pick up some new armor.
Oh yeah, I wanted to buy a new belt.
As we're running.
I'm sure that we could just loot it.
Yeah, no one will know. Fog of war and all.
Everybody died?
I mean, to be fair, it's like a fruit marketplace, not like a magic item shop. Yes. You can take some fruit with
You
you.
mean telling me they don't sell
Guys.
Paragon level armor in an open air market?
I am telling you that.
Guys,
Yeah.
quick question. What did we do with the god egg?
It's still on the ship.
Okay.
In
We didn't
containment.
do
Don't
it.
worry, it's with
It's not in containment for the record.
Razgul.
not Ra's al Ghul.
It's floating. It's
Floating near containment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
With Geltheg
Yes. He's just chilling in
and
the pool.
Gulran.
Who's
Gulran?
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 That's a city in
I know.
You said Ra's al Ghul first.
I know, I did. I can't remember the guy's name.
Rajul. I mean,
Rajul.
Rajul. I mean, you're
Oh,
close.
We did the dude.
He is an actual
He's the actual containment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God Egg is being closely
then-
watched by a swimming Geltheg.
Yeah. Gelthek is just chilling in the pool, and the god egg is just like floating around with him. Okay, cool.
We're really taking
I
advantage.
felt like we'd done something about it, but I think we just talked about doing something
did.
about it. And you know, just like the portraits.
we talked to Gelthak about it and we learned that it's a portal to where it's
The Black
shadows.
Yes.
So
Put the god egg in the portraits. You know, just everything we don't want to deal with goes in the portraits.
No, I took that trash out. It's fine.
Kiwi's backpack. Kiwi's backpack.
Showed him back.
That the other campaign, whenever they had something they didn't understand, like, we don't want to deal with this stuff in the backpack. Like, just someone had like
A sentient hand left us in there for a while.
did that with the seed.
yeah, pretty much. Like put it, but they had like an actual like put
Okay.
energies and effort into making this a secure, extra dimensional, like super bag of holding.
And ours was just a backpack.
Yeah, yours is just a
We don't
backpack.
have
They had like, we're putting all of our long term problems in this
Oh.
back.
Also, I don't know if you guys know this because many of you are newer to the campaign, although now you've all been here for at least a year. But there was like a good year where we had that seed and didn't know what it did. And like I kind of kept asking Gary, like, wasn't that seed important? He's like, I don't know.
Could be.
We still have no idea why the seed specifically like
held Clotho.
Well, something about Clotho and seeds, right? She had the seed vault.
That's true.
Yeah, but like we have no idea why specifically like that child that was being born at that time. Like if we had done the same thing, but it was like just like an I don't know, like a teenage girl or something.
Mhm.
Like would the same thing have happened without the like we have no idea why.
It demanded sacrifice. We had to kill that baby. Stop regretting it.
Not we, drop.
Hey, whoa, 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 whoa. I was against it, and everyone told me to do it.
And
Hang
yet,
on, hang on, hang on. Let Fox finish.
I'm thinking about Clotho's identity problems and how she can't settle on a form because she doesn't know who she is in context to like she knows what she is but not who she is, right?
Mhm.
And so the problem is that she's having, as far as I'm understanding it, is like a crisis of personality where she's
Yeah.
like, I know the power, like I know that the power that has been invested in me, and I know my nature, but not like how, like I don't have a way to interpret that
Mhm.
through a vessel that I can understand. And so like my thing about it is like when we went up that hallway, my intention at the time was just to save this baby and this woman for no other reason than life is sacred and we should try to save it where possible, right?
Mhm.
And then the seed started doing a thing. Why that child specifically?
I mean, my guess was because we were in the reach
Yeah.
part of it. And maybe because it needed a oddly or whatever.
I would also say that has something to do with it actually being a child.
I would also say that something that you do have that you know about is that you know that all deaths that happen within the Reach do not cause one of the wraiths to be there. Like the wraith is not there for every death.
Right. It was an important because she had her board with her stones. Like
Mhm.
there was something about fate converging, but we don't know why.
She was talking about the skeins are twisted,
Mhm.
so
Like her board kept shifting.
the
kinda
outcome
like,
was obviously not certain.
right.
Yeah.
But yeah, we
But
don't
yeah,
know.
that's like something that I want to find out eventually, is just like, because I think that might help Clotho, is like why was it specifically like, why was it a baby and why was it specifically that baby, or did it have to be that baby, and could it have actually been like if we'd found like a pretty young girl who was like a likely candidate for the vessel of Clotho, would the same thing have happened, or did it have to be that particular child in that particular situation?
Mhm.
And if so, why? Anyway, sorry, I'm slightly sidetracking, even though it is still relevant. I just really I feel like we need that information in order to help Clotho with her thing,
Yeah.
her identity.
Is fate destined, or have we actually not ever changed anything?
Well, you definitely changed something here. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Unless we were destined
Unless
to
we were
change
destined to change it and why we were shown,
Free will is an illusion.
Well, and then also like the rods are actual. Am I understanding that the rods are like it's like Thuriel's actual bones?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So like he, she, they, it, Z gave us the bones, which are showing us these things, and we don't know why. But every time we change them, a new thing happens.
Yep.
So like, are we supposed to be changing these things? Like, is this a good thing that we're like preventing these visions from being a thing? And will we eventually, like, this feels like a side quest chain that's eventually going to lead us to stuff.
I mean, I think we don't know.
what's up?
For- what? Well, we don't know for certain that it's a good thing to change these things, but it feels like when we intervene, we generally are saving lives in the moment.
In the moment, but then sometimes it gets really complicated afterwards.
Also,
Here.
quite recently,
But-
we stopped receiving visions. Right, Gary?
No, that's not true.
You got a vision quite recently.
No, but I mean, like,
2 days
we solved a thing, we
We
changed the
stopped-
outcome, and no vision, follow vision.
We stopped receiving individual visions and we're now receiving group visions.
Although some of us are getting them at different times.
And there's also a It's not necessarily every time you finish a vision, you immediately get another one. That's not how it's previously worked.
Okay.
So I'm making it clear that that is not a change that has happened. It wasn't like, oh, we did this vision, and then as soon as it
Immediately
completed,
after
we got
that.
another one.
Yeah.
That's not been the pattern.
But did anyone's rods go cold during or after the attack?
Not yet. But also, you know that
It might take a little while.
it hasn't. The time hasn't happened yet because you guys.
Because we came
Oh, we knew it
early.
was morning.
Yeah, because it's supposed to be in the morning, and you guys made it happen earlier because
Right.
it's now evening here.
Okay. Yeah.
So about the rods, they're the bones of this angel, but are they the bones of Tyserial or is Laxerial? Because there was a time when they transitioned, right?
It was before the transition that the bones were given to you.
Because they moved from becoming the angel of fate to the angel of war, death, and hate
Yep.
Yes.
and revenge.
Vengeance.
Vengeance.
Vengeance is, but that's not what it is an angel of.
But
It has told you.
Domain.
Its domains are. Yeah.
That's his.
the
so
angel
what
of
did you-
prophecy and the angel of slaughter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
angel of slaughter is what it actually is.
But the
Cancel
rods
slaughter.
are still giving us prophecy.
Because they're from the old body,
Okay.
I guess.
Were they when they were given to you? Were they like actual bones?
I think they've always looked the way they looked, right? Like bone rods.
But like, did you see them being extracted? Is what I'm getting at.
No, I
Okay.
think
Tyserial.
Cereal just handed us these rods.
Okay. Yeah, because like. All right. Yep.
Alright,
Moving on.
to the ship
So it was like season 1 of Lost.
So I have a question.
for the last 3 years.
Also, that hurts.
Next season.
I have to say, there is an ending. Like there is an answer to what these mysteries are.
And if you live long enough, you may get to see it.
Even if you do not, even
No,
if
I
the
mean-
campaign ends now.
I mean IRL.
Oh, IRL. Yes, that's true.
Yes.
If we live long enough IRL, our characters will live longer than we will.
Because one of the
Freaking
things,
Jordan over here.
one of the things that hit me really hard was that I watched Lost and then nothing happened. I was like, oh shit. And then I found another show and I was watching. I was like, oh man, this is a cool mystery. And then I got like 3 or 4 episodes in it. And I was like, oh man, this is really cool. And then I looked and I found, oh, it's by the same people that did Lost, that like famously don't have answers for all the mysterious bullshit. They just sort of like wing it and then
Wow,
never
wouldn't
come
it
up
be
with
crazy
answers.
if
And then I was like, damn it. Like that there's not going to be an answer to this show. It's just they're making shit up that sounds
Wild.
wild and mysterious. Rapture,
Oh,
where there wasn't an answer.
yeah.
I was like,
Jesus.
Yeah, that's the same thing. Anyways, so
Okay, so we're going to the ship.
Yes.
I have a question for you all. What are you doing about Alana?
I think
we have to take her with us.
Yoink.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm just gonna straight up pick her up. If she's not gonna
What? Abduct.
So like,
well, because you said she was like still like having a breakdown, right? She's just like
Mhm.
yeah.
Mhm.
We don't have time for you to have your like mental shit going on.
yeah, I mean, she's having some trauma here.
Yeah.
And is
You don't have time for your trauma.
Mental health queen.
so
There is a safe space on the ship where you can have this mental breakdown, but this
Listen.
is not the place.
In Al's lair. Another mental picture.
So we have an entire
Actually, for
containment
real, I
facility.
will go over to her and I'll be like, Alana, you with me?
and she's whispering to herself pretty clearly in Vampiric. You know that she's previously talked to you in Common, so she can speak Common. She
Okay.
knows she understands Common, but
Can I hear what she's saying?
You speak Vampire.
if you come over to her, then you can use it. So she's muttering under her breath, like, I was never in danger. This was all going to work out. Everything is fine. I'm still alive. I am immortal. I am immortal. I am immortal.
Mm,
She's just sort of like
Yeah.
repeating that sort of mantra
You
to
are
herself.
immortal, and I pat her shoulder.
most immortal.
Now, up you get. Let's go have some hot cocoa.
So you go and you touch her,
Mhm.
and when your hand touches her, you get this like kind of like a static shock, almost like a little zap through your hands.
Oh, girl, chill out.
But you can tell it's not electricity. It's some sort of like dark energy that washes over your hands and
Uh-huh.
kind of tingles for a second.
Hunger, hunger, hunger.
I need a D4.
Please don't eat me.
Someone keep
Before.
So -2. Oh. So you don't actually take any damage. Right?
Oh,
So it's a little bit of necrotic energy. And then when that happens, when she like, you touch her, when she looks up at you, her eyes are completely black.
Hunger, hunger, hunger.
we've seen this before, right?
Yeah, you've seen this before, but
And
the look on her
Margot.
face is not the same look as you've seen. The only person you've seen that looks like this was Marie, and she had a very tightly controlled, like, I'm not going to do anything look. That is not the sort of crazed look on her
when we
face.
summoned her to Three Trees to chat.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Look at all the bodies you can consume.
So she looks up, and then she kind of says in a slightly lower voice than she was speaking through before, and goes, I can feel so much to feed on. And then you see her kind of like, and as she opens her mouth, you see the fangs grow long.
Okay, I punch her in the face.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay. Give me like a raw strength check.
Drop, you have vampire armor. You need to intervene.
Oh, 19.
So
She
like,
crits, kills the NPC.
so you see that like
I'm trying to hurt her. I'm trying to snap her out
Funny
of
way of
it.
showing.
that, okay. Let me ask
Is
that
it
question here.
non-lethal?
It's not that it's non-lethal. That's not really the question. It's like you see that there is that hunger that you've now seen a couple of different people have. Like you saw Margot when she kind of gave in to her hunger. She did not need to get snapped out of it by like a wake up.
Yeah.
There was a lot more effort that went into that. While you would be aware that like straight up slugging her as hard as you can in the face might be really detrimental to a normal person, to a full-blooded vampire, it's probably not as
Yeah.
like deadly or like
Yeah.
majorly traumatic. So my question is like, is this I'm trying to snap a person out of it that's like a normal person, or am I hitting
no,
am I hitting someone who's a vampire with like
I'm hitting someone who's a vampire.
okay,
I'm
that's
like having watched like Margot like
look out.
Hulk the fuck out. Yeah, I'm not holding back, but also like it's very much non-lethal. I'm not trying to push her teeth in or anything.
Yeah. So you slug her really hard, and
Yeah.
her back of her head rebounds against the stone wall she was standing next to. And then when she kind of like stutters forward, you see that like the look of like the eyes go normal again,
Mhm.
and this look of just like complete just bafflement. Like she's just had a minor concussion and doesn't understand what's going on. But
That's
you-
better.
But you basically slap the vampire out of her for a minute.
This Griffle's tagline: "Slap the vampire out of it."
She's like, oh, I'm very. And then she like looks up and sees just like corpses all around, and then she closes her eyes and says something about a safe place
Yes,
where the people aren't dead and down.
yes. Come, we can take you to that place. We need you to come with us. We need information from you. I promise you will be safe.
So she kind of reaches her hand out, touches you, touches where like your arm or your shoulder.
Mhm.
And you can tell she's a little like woozy when she does it, but she keeps her eyes closed,
Uh-huh.
and then she focuses on your voice and kind of like, okay, gets like maybe like a strap or something in a backpack, and is like, okay, I don't think I should open my eyes.
Okay.
And she takes her other hand, the one that's not holding you, and she basically puts both of her fingers up her nose. She like plugs her nose, and she covers her mouth, and she has this sort of like strange wheezing sound that she's making. Probably not from the punch to the face, but like she's mostly closed off her airway, so she can't taste the air or smell all the
Uh-huh.
blood, and
You can
her
hardly
eyes are
breathe.
closed. Some of them do, and this one does. And so she holds on to you, and it's like, okay, lead me, but I'm struggling.
Cool. Right. I will start walking back towards the ship. I'll test out I'll sort of vary my speed, like I'll slowly increase my speed to see if she can like keep up, and as soon as I feel her sort of lagging behind, I'll like slow a little and stay at that pace. So like the fastest we can go with her, like that.
So as you start moving, you can tell that she's sort of like really awkwardly following you. But as you kind of start to go, all right, we're gonna go move at full speed, you notice like her shoulders relax, her body relaxes. There's this sort of like weird energy coming from her as she relaxes and lets herself be led. But you're pretty certain a normal person couldn't like, move at almost like a jog through a city street with sort of uneven stones and walking around things and things like that with her, eyes closed and both of their hands occupied.
Yeah,
like she
Don't
is
flash
relying on that hunger. She's relying on that supernatural side of her a little bit in order to keep pace, but it doesn't seem like it's bothering her
Okay, cool.
much.
All right.
So the plan is make it straight for the ship, yes?
Yeah. As we try to leave, I want to salute Amar. And does the First Legion have a slogan?
Every
Or
man
like
in a
that cheer?
century, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'll salute and say every man a century as we leave.
And he kind of does the Legion salute, hand to the side and cross, puts the hand straight up, and then goes, and a Centurion cohort. And then he does him because so every man is a century in the First Legion is the quote.
Mhm.
His follow-up is he's not just a soldier.
He's a centurion.
Yeah, he's a centurion. So he does the Legion salute and kind of watches you go away, and then he grabs someone and kind of shakes them. You can tell that some of the Legionaries, the 404, they're kind of gathered around Kaid, and Kaid is telling them to go and help people in the streets. And so they are starting to look out for people that are have been injured by their falls from the roofs and not killed. And they're starting to kind of set up a perimeter of some kind. So this is going to be a little bit of a skill challenge type thing. And I am going to be, since we've got a table that I can just go around, I'm going to just be going around the table. I'll start this way this time, and then we'll go the other way if we keep going. The goal here is get through the city without drawing too much undue attention to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So our first scene is you guys are going through sort of ground zero of this attack. And as you make it past the first block or two, the percentage of the population that got hit with this attack near ground zero was very high. And as you're you can tell very quickly as you're going away from it, once you get a couple blocks away, it's definitely hit people, but it's had much less of an effect the further away that you go, but it's still hitting a pretty big chunk of the population. There's fires in buildings, there's people running out and figuring out what's going on, there's people that have jumped from the roofs that have died. There is some level of kind of what you would expect, maybe like an earthquake hitting a major city type thing. There is crisis and not a lot of people have any idea what's going on. So for at least this part, it's gonna be pretty easy to go by unnoticed. But one, what are you doing to sort of get through without sticking out in anyone's mind? Because part of it's going to be if anyone remembers, that group of well-armed and armored strangers that don't have peace-bonded weapons just ran away from ground zero is probably something you want to avoid.
Our weapons
Are no longer bound. Yeah.
So they're making an alarm.
So there is an alarm. Yes. Now, it is not an alarm that you guys can feel.
Yeah.
But you know that the way that it works is like the alarm ritual.
Yeah.
So the guard houses
They're getting a ping.
they're getting a ping basically. Yeah. So you guys can't hear anything, but you know
Right.
there's an alarm going off in some guardhouse somewhere nearby.
How would you guys feel about me turning my armor into guard's armor and pretending to be leading you away?
We pretend to be prisoners.
like I'm taking you for questioning.
Yeah. I'm for it.
Yeah,
Yep.
seems like a good idea.
It may be a bit of bother if we run into some actual guards, but yes, I'm good for it.
Oh, I feel confident Druck and I can bluff our way out. Couple of cheap guards.
Yeah.
All right.
Until the dude with the mohawk. I don't know. I just pictured the metal man with the mohawk for some reason. The guy who was questioning us initially.
Nade?
The guy who
Yeah,
didn't
Nade.
like us.
That's it.
yeah.
Oh yeah, if we run into him and I'm in a guard's uniform, we are screwed.
You also know that he's supposed to be at the gate, right? Like the reason that he sent the guard with you to be your shadow
Mm-hmm.
is because he
Where's
needed
that
to
guy?
stay at the gate. He is dead.
Nice.
He was 2 days short of retirement.
Was he actually? Is that what he told me?
No.
He was. I always ask random NPCs how far away they are from retirement.
I know.
Because you never know.
I always ask them what color their shirt is.
Who else wants bubbly?
Me.
I'm good with that. I mean, I would like bubbly, but a different type of bubbly. So, thank you.
2 glasses.
Yeah, I think I'm good.
Can I have the a sugar-free Ale8? Cold. A cold sugar-free Ale8 and a glass bottle.
That is sugar.
Only a cold sugar
Okay.
It goes sugar free.
one.
Oh, but you want the sugar-free, don't you?
I mean, I would, but I don't mind waiting. It's fine.
No, you can have that. I'll have the sugar one. It's really fine. I was just gonna do this one just to try it, but I can do that later. Try it. No, I can do that later.
Ice.
I think they have ice.
Nice. Give me the sugar.
They don't-
Impossible.
They don't have ice.
Give me the sugar. Give me.
Give me the
Okay.
sugar.
I think one is now might be insufficient.
Yeah, that's fine. Putting an extra one in. If he wants.
That was really stuck on there.
Oh, no.
That one's a pop top.
Yeah.
Just to fuck with you, they put like one.
Every once in a while. Pops up in there.
My local
That'd be the
pizza place down the road from me does the pizza geddon thing where like they cut the pizza into 8 slices and then they dab like one of the, and you can get this from any pizza, but they've got like this Carolina Reaper hot sauce
Oh no.
and they put like one dab on one slice, and so it's like pizza roulette. You never know who's gonna get it. You
That
have
is-
to pick a random slice.
That is both perfect and terrible. Like I love and hate that at the same time.
It's a really good game to play with like your friends where you're like, let's get one of these pizzas and everybody picks a slice.
Yeah. Agree.
I did it with like 6 people. And so we each took a slice and then there were 2 slices left and none of us had got the hot sauce.
Oh no.
So we had 2 slices left. We knew it was going to be one of them, and there were only 2 of us who wanted another slice of pizza. So we each had to just pick one. I was like, well, whoever picks, the other one has to. Yeah, it's about the same. Thank you. Whoever picks, like the other one has to eat first. Like if you're the one who picks, then the other one has to eat. And then we both decided to just eat them at the same time. And then like neither of us could taste it. Like everyone was like waiting with bated breath for one of us to start like
Dying.
dying profusely, and then we were just like,
Like they forgot.
yeah, they just forget to put the hot sauce on the hot sauce roulette pizza. Like, do we? All of this dread for nothing.
Could I?
Oh. Hang on. So the idea is bluff the
It's
guards
very dry
Yeah.
Prosecco.
Just very dry.
via sex. So yes, go give me a bluff check. And does your armor give you any specific bonus for this?
It does.
I'm pretty
I
sure-
should have been looking that up.
That would make sense.
While you do that, I have a question.
Of course.
Is there anything that I could do to disarm the alarm? Or jam it? Or use a knowledge
So,
of a ritual.
To completely disarm it, there, you know that you can do it.
Yeah.
To disarm it without it being obvious that you disarmed it, probably not.
But they would.
Because like if anyone sees you after you disarm the thing and you have a weapon that doesn't have a peace bond anymore,
Yeah.
they'll be able to know that you took off the alarm.
Because
So that's going to look like if you get basically you can do it, but if you get questioned
Mhm.
and you have these unbound weapons that don't have the alarms on them anymore, it's gonna be
Extra bad.
extra sketch.
yeah, everyone's weapons in the city are pieces. So it's like,
But
it's
if
like
you
the little-
if you mute the alarm, you just sort of like disrupt the signal a little bit so that the
Can I use like a VPN so it looks
yeah.
like
So if you're trying to VPN the alarm,
yeah, I'm gonna VPN.
that is much less sketchy because that's like I just
Make
Yeah.
it
I
look
get
like
interrupted out, it'll pay away.
Mars IP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the answer is basically can you turn off the alarm so they stop triggering? Yes, but it's gonna look super sketchy. Can you basically mask the alarm so that they're not bringing people to you? That won't look nearly as sketchy,
Yeah, I'm trying.
but it's not gonna be as like sort of one and done.
It's like the people who get their license plate like either capitalized or lowercase L's, but then it's like you know who that is because it's a ridiculous thing like your bill.
It's sketchy to do that, yeah.
Why? What do they do?
I don't think you can do that, can you?
I don't know what would stop you.
Yeah.
Are there
Yeah.
lower cases in license plates?
I would assume so.
Are there lower cases in license plates?
I don't know.
You can't get them. Yeah.
I've
I'm really not
never
that
seen-
And maybe this isn't like a very
in my entire life seen that.
maybe this isn't a popular position, but I don't really do a lot of custom license plates.
Literally,
I was more
never
thinking
seen-
of the people that have the license plate changer thing, where like having that on your car.
I know there's like the black thing.
No, but I mean like you
Like the rotator one.
rotator one
Where's
that
my car?
flips a new license plate onto it.
That's some Vin Diesel shit.
Even if you don't use it,
You watch one
Having
Fast
it
and
on-
Furious movie.
having it on your car, that's kind of how this would look,
Yeah, I
right?
get
If you turn up the RMB, it's like
I've also never seen one of those.
I have only in a movie.
Wow.
It was actually a YouTube thing that I was watching. They were like, "Hey, we're gonna see if we can buy things that look like they're really illegal on Amazon." One of the
Yeah.
things was one of those license plate switcher things, and it's like, this seems really illegal.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's gonna look like that. It's gonna be like, obviously you've got something going on that's wrong
But
because
not
you
if
have
do
that.
this up.
But you the other way. It's fine. So go ahead and you can definitely do that.
That
Yep.
Arcana.
Arcana would be default. Now you could use bluff for the same sort of thing, but what you want.
I have one thing I'm good at. I'm gonna roll one.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Calling
One
your shot.
thing I'm good at.
19.
One thing you're good at. It's calling your shot.
You got a plus 18 for Arcana?
Yes,
Yeah.
I do.
I guess I have plus 18.
Ooh,
So,
moderate DC.
moderate EC. So is one success. You get the impression that you're scrambling it to some degree,
Mhm.
but that you're not going to be good at like it's not perfect. Yeah. Anyone that like actively looks and checks is going to be able to pierce through the thing that you've done.
Yeah.
But like if you run by one of them and it goes off, it's not going to like be a giant glowing arrow to you anymore. Doc, did you ever find out where your plus is to this?
Yeah, so it's +2 to bluff checks. So it specific says you can add this armor's enchantment bonus to any bluff check made to attempt to disguise your appearance.
So yeah, that definitely qualifies.
Don't you add stuff to bluffs?
I can.
Oh,
For a
I
reason?
This
don't-
whole skill will be one.
One encounter?
I don't
guess
need
it's like-
anything additional.
Yeah.
That's plenty of bonus for me.
It actually doesn't matter because it's encounter anyway. So I would just get
It does mean that you have to rest though. So like you
We
get
haven't
your
rested.
encounter, you get your encounter, you have rested. But I'm saying like if they were multiple scenes back to back and you use an encounter power, you don't get it
Mm,
back
like
even
different
if it's a new
stages
encounter.
of-
You would have to stop and take 5 minutes for rest. So it's not encounter powers aren't just like the auto refresh
I
when
don't have the cards for this because it's weird. So let me look it up. Right now.
building camaraderie.
Yes.
So we do have our encounter powers back.
You do have your encounter powers back. Yeah.
Should I have healed? Because I'm
Wait.
also like really bloodied.
Oh, yeah, so we could have done
You,
healing
you can,
surges.
yeah, you can heal. Yeah. So if
Okay.
you have not healed up already and spent any surges that you would like to, please do so. I would greatly prefer you not be at
1 HP.
yeah at low health for what might come next.
Great.
If that's not a DM.
You're right. You guys are gonna
You're
want to be
Either.
All right. So Gary, I'll do that. I'm not sure if Morgan's gonna try and throw a bonus, but I've rolled. I got 31 plus 2, so 33 for the bluff.
33. So hard to see success, but not a
It
not great
doesn't
success.
say what kind of power. Feat.
Yeah, and we switch this around. You
It does say until end of encounter though, so it makes me think it's
correct. But we did switch this around a little bit. So
yeah. This isn't the exact thing. It's +5.
Yeah.
I actually have it written out
nice.
on my sheet on the second page.
Wow.
Sorry,
Yeah, I know.
you didn't.
I didn't make
print
it hard for it because I'm dumb.
We can print the second page. It's not that hard. But we'll do that
So 38.
for tonight.
So my +5 would make it a 38, right? Because he did a 33.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
for
it
Ant,
is.
The +5. You mean continuing from this encounter, or
oh wait, no, I get the +5 on my check.
right? I was like, why is it +5? Okay. All right. So this scene is going to be over. You've got enough successes to finish this. So you guys make your way through, shrouding the alarm. You run right past a guard station, and you can hear as the guards are like out and doing stuff that there are lots of alarms going off. Like it is not just, oh, someone's broken a peace bond. There's a problem here. It's like major hardcore alarms. There's talking. There's people running back and forth. Like again, imagine an earthquake hits a major city. Yeah, there is people. There are calls to respond to for the police, but the police are also have 9,000 things to do all of a sudden. And that's basically what's happening here. Is that you're kind of getting lost in the noise as you make it out of the initial sort of ring of stuff. You can see that you get past the areas where there aren't people, there are bodies littered in the street, things like that, and you get to an area where rather than being people dead, there's just people staring into nothingness. There's like little clumps of people that are hard to kind of move around, staring out and not really paying attention to things around them, like they're in a trance. And it seems like it's a pretty decent number of people are on the streets in this trance-like state. And as you guys get close to them, you say several of them are kind of following in the wake of where you were. None of them are looking at you while you're moving, but they look where you walked from, like they're tracking you, but all of them are staring to about 20 feet behind where you are and following behind you.
Is Clotho trailing behind us, or
She's walking with you all off to one side, off to one side of the night, like she normally does. So, the three of you guys, round two is, or the second scene of this is you have city streets. Things are a little bit more normal here, except for these people that are in these trances. You got several people that are out on the street that are not in the trances that are trying to like, snap these people out of it. But as you're walking along, you see that everyone that's in this trance is tracking where they're looking behind where you guys are.
And do
Behind.
we?
I think it's my fault.
What'd you do?
I think it's the candle,
The candle.
The what?
because we were in the mindscape. I said I want the candle to like light everyone's way, so it's sort of like an after image.
Oh,
At least that's
you did say that.
what.
I'm not saying
Oh,
anything.
yeah.
He's just leaning in your general.
I know.
I'm leaning in
That
the
seems so
direction of the candle
smug,
back.
does it not?
Do we sense anything behind us?
Does Baneslayer seem to be giving off any sort of energy?
Baneslayer has been like humming ever since you stabbed it into the obelisk.
Yeah, it's because it's like weirdly horny for.
That is a very accurate description of what it feels like. Your weapon is weirdly horny to kill something.
Yes.
A very specific. uh, my hypothesis was, since it was under the effects of the walker, that they were maybe acting as spies.
Mm-hmm. Well, why 20 people
It?
behind
Who
us?
is it?
The walker.
You said it was under the effect of it.
The
Well,
people.
These groups of people,
So they're all spies?
maybe.
Well, we have to control.
Aren't they
most of
free
them.
now?
Maybe not.
Not
Their
necessarily.
bodies are safe.
Everyone in this section of the city.
Not everyone.
Oh.
Looks like maybe,
Because the
maybe a quarter of the people.
Hope Slayer Avatar didn't come out of the obelisk.
They did.
Right, but the people were already under the trance before it came
Oh.
to the obelisk.
Right.
Yeah, we don't know how far we
How many of them are missing their left eye?
None that you can see.
Can I connect with one of them psionically, telepathically?
You can. I am going to say
It's a terrible idea.
no. I want to make sure that everyone has a chance to act
Yeah,
and
yeah,
challenge
for sure,
and stuff.
for sure. Yeah.
So if you do connect with them, it's going to be kind of in furtherance of someone else helping with the challenge. So
So me? Am I the only one who hasn't had a go?
no.
Three and
you
Michael.
three. So the question is, what are you trying to get from them? What's the goal? Like you're actually pretty good at connecting people in like comas and trances and stuff. This was kind of part of your backstory. So
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to, I guess, do they feel like the people in the coma from Prosperity?
is that the goal?
Well, that, and then if they are telepathically verbal, to try to,
What do
Ask-
they see?
yeah, ask them what they see.
So go ahead and
Could she assist me in making that diplomacy check?
Sure.
yeah.
Like, could I be just a conduit to him?
Mm-hmm. But then I would want to know, so let's say she's like, okay, I can connect you so you can sort of see something. What are you trying to get out of this connection, right? So she's working as the tool you're using to do something.
Right.
What are you trying to see? What are you trying to do? What's the goal that you're going for?
I want to know what they're looking at, why they're following behind us.
Okay.
And then maybe while I'm there, the quickest way to the docks from where we are.
And if it's not too much trouble. If you're not, like, being,
Enters
completely-
mind. What do you see? Also, while I'm here.
So these guys are actually pretty easy to connect with.
Mhm.
So it's going to be an easy DC diplomacy. Can you fail an easy DC diplomacy?
Diplomacy? Hell yeah, I can.
Okay.
I can't.
Okay.
But she's assisting me, right?
Did you mean Arcana? I mean, he's doing the talking.
No, I got you. But you have to connect with them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I can see Arcana.
Oh, so she has to do the Arcana,
She
but then
has to
I do the
connect.
diplomacy.
She has
see.
to open the connection first,
Right.
Well, as
okay.
we've seen, I can.
which is
tell
not going
not-
to contribute to the challenge.
Yeah,
Right. But it could be a great success.
that's true.
But
But yeah, my minimum.
I want that fiber optic.
because it is
connection.
because the magical part of it isn't hard. It's not even like I would not have you make a check.
Okay.
It's the part of kind of bringing them out of their stupor, right? It's trying to draw the attention of a completely unconscious mind
Yeah.
is the part that takes skill.
Okay.
So I think diplomacy makes sense for that. I can also see something like insight, right? You're trying to like pierce through the haze of all the shit that they've got going on.
Mhm.
That's the idea, right? So justify some sort of check for me that kind of draws them out of their stupor.
Okay. I mean, I could see insight to kind of figure out where their mind is. and
Okay.
What's happening with it.
Yeah, I can see that.
Okay.
Because like I said, the Arcana check is easy enough that you don't have to make it.
So that is.
Is this are these dice only good for you in combat? Is that how that works?
Yeah. 16.
16. So with the 16, you got a 16 with a 3.
Yeah.
Okay, so you didn't have to roll because you needed an easy DC.
What if it was a great success?
True. It could have been a great success. That's fair. So it's very easy to connect with them, and as you sort of connect with the first one, you get this sensation almost like your mind is diluted, where you send your mind kind of into their head to see what's going on, and you feel it sort of spread,
Like I'm connecting with a hive mind.
like you're connecting with a hive mind.
Great.
And you can sense this sort of shared weirdness of shared perceptions that is kind of spreading from the one that you connected to.
What do
That's
you,
what you get.
what do you want to say to the adversary? Which way to the socks?
Like contacting contacting a phone line.
So you're connected to everyone in the city. What's the best way to the top?
So, and this is the thing, right? Like, so she's brought you the connection. Hey, here it is. You can dive into it. Like,
Yeah, but she says, "Oh, it's the adversary on the other line."
We should maybe abort, but
Hello, Pacific. Give me number 9.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd probably say sever that connection, leave it be.
Yep.
I'm not sure. I'm
aye aye, Captain.
not sure I'm ready to speak to the adversary. I don't have a really good one-liner for them yet.
break the connection.
I attempt.
Okay. Jesus. 29 versus Will.
Um,
Good, block it.
Red.
oh, I can't. I have a 28.
No,
Can I
even with the plus?
can I use my noble presence to boost her defenses?
What's the
Do you?
What about now?
This is an attack.
Yeah.
So, would using your ability not get you to 29? Does that get you close but not there?
Yes.
So she attempts to break the connection, and you get this, like, she starts to walk a little bit slower, and then you can see her as she's walking, like
Looking 20 feet behind us.
looking over her shoulder, and you can tell, like, her, like, if she was talking to you mentally or talking to you physically, the words start to become slurred. She's starting to sort of mentally and physically slow down, and the group has to slow down with her. So complication, connection with the hive mind.
Barry just knows any weird thing I'm going to try to talk to.
Who knew that our famous last words were, "Could one help me with this diplomacy check?"
So if you wouldn't mind, note taker,
Sure.
complication, connection with the hive mind.
Note taker. Note taker.
Spell your do.
Taker.
And you can see that she's, because I basically, she almost was going to be able to get out of it.
Mm.
So you can sense that she's starting to, like, look behind her and struggling with disconnecting from this. Now you still haven't taken an action to contribute toward the skill challenge. You guys can as well if you want to, but you can see that there's now a complication on the board.
I'm ready.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna snap at one and be like, "What do you see?" Hello. But obviously, she can't answer that. So
You can, but you're
You're looking 10 feet behind you.
you're getting this, and you're trying to block out the. Well, I guess I shouldn't speak for you. Do you want to block out the senses that you're getting from this connection, or is this what am I actually seeing? Because he says, hey, what are you seeing?
What do I know so far?
That there is some sort of shared something with them. Your own innate knowledge is like, I shouldn't necessarily touch that. I'm just reaching out, handshake. Oh, the handshake is really fucked up. Maybe I shouldn't look here. And then he asks you, hey, what do you see? And you go, about that pink elephant I wasn't thinking about a second ago. So how would your character react? Because that's I mean, your character
is stupid and
It-
makes dumb choices?
What's your
knows the dangers to be able to be like, should I specifically not think about this and think about something else, or should I take a look?
Takes a look.
Jump all over.
Yeah.
So
Please.
you look, he asks you, and you look through their eyes, and through their eyes walking, behind you, there are these long, dark shadows extending backwards, and the shadows congeal about 20 feet behind you into something that looks like it's just breaking the surface. It looks like, maybe like the top of a head that's covered in horns and barbs. And like it's just breaking the surface of the ground behind you, of something that's maybe 6 feet across, but looks like it's just the very top of a head that's colossal, this massive thing. And it's in that pool of shadows extending back from you.
Do I get the sense that this is Hope Slayer?
Doesn't match with the stuff that you've seen thus far.
Does it feel like a walker in general?
It feels horrifying from their perspective. And you can tell that the reason they're watching is not like anticipation or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they can't look away and are just frozen in fear.
Oh.
Does it feel like a star show?
Doesn't seem like one. You.
So they're connected to the hive mind.
Yeah.
And they're
scared?
horrified by what they're seeing.
So it seems to be.
So maybe it's not necessarily the worst thing for us. What is behind us
The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
is my frenemy.
So you're.
I don't know, maybe it's
you
more
say
that.
this. What are you trying? Are you gonna try to get her out of it?
I would like to hold her hand.
Okay.
That's it. And like slap on Baneslayer. That's it. I just want to take the opportunity. I'll hold her hand.
Can I give consent?
That's moved to a place.
Sorry.
Because in my mind,
Next thing he's gonna be, is she bigger than me?
Weird downs.
okay, actually no. I'm gonna yeah. I'll continue down this path. Not that path.
Give the man a card. Yes, a red card.
I don't know why.
Did you go already? Where did you?
Nope.
It's not really in order, right? Because it's just
Oh, right.
anyone that's over here needs to go.
The only reason I asked
While I'm
is
holding her
I know
hand,
she has really good nature, and it seems like it might be worthwhile.
while I'm holding her hand, I would like to use the Baneslayer mark.
On me.
Oh,
To see if
She's lost.
We have to let her go.
just like try to.
That's why with the wording.
Is anything I can see?
Did you
I think
want
it
to?
works on creatures, right?
Did you want to connect to the hive mind so you can
No.
see it?
It says aberrant creatures.
So when you send out that pulse,
Yep.
it washes over the people and doesn't trigger on them.
Because they're not aberrant.
So you can sense like if they were like corrupted things, because the aberrant.
But if a non-aberrant creature is dominated by an aberrant creature, would they show as aberrant?
They would not, but some of the the full corrupted things, like Dalsath, right?
Yes.
He would show as aberrant. So if these things are just like short-term controlled, not long-term corrupted, it would not read like that.
Right.
So my question to you is, what is your goal in this? Are you trying to help her through things, or
I was wondering if for some reason when I used the marking power, all of their attention would snap to me. That was my.
it's a good idea, but that is not what happens. So I've not heard from Foxy in a while. So what's Foxy doing, or what's Griffle doing?
Have you noticed that life is nothing but pain and suffering? Have you always wanted to be part of something bigger than you? Join the hive mind. No. Okay, so what is one doing, like physically right now? You're just like standing there.
She's still trying to keep up as you guys are quickly making your way through the city, but she's obviously slowed. and you can tell that sluggishness is not just physical; it's mental as well.
Right, and you tried to break away, but you were pulled back in.
Yeah, she was not able to break the connection cap.
I'm trying.
I punch her.
I was like, worked for vampires.
For real, but like a normal punch, not like a One Punch Man punch.
One punch and level punch.
All you have is a hammer.
Can we have a regular punch instead of a supersized?
Yeah.
Looks pretty good.
Can we?
Did you crit?
I did.
Can we? Is the question.
Crit doesn't mean like ultimate power. Crit means I do
All the
thing
dire
that
max.
I want to do, but
Yeah.
really well.
Great.
Yes.
It means the best possible result.
She's just getting me
Of the
back
goal,
from that time
which
that
is-
I crit with that power that shouldn't have hit.
I just don't understand how when it comes to physical confrontation, Foxy does better out of combat.
Oh,
She did a shitload of damage at the end there.
She did.
Most of the combat, she was trying to stay away
I'm
from
trying
the
to
thing.
stay the fuck away from the thing, and then also try to play like baby healer. And now I'm feeling like maybe I should just drop the ranger and just accept that I'm a cleric.
I think there were 3 turns where I was trying to be within 5 squares of you to get a heal, and then you ended up giving it to somebody else because they needed it more. It was just amusing.
So, you do kind of knock her, and you.
I deliberately am going to be like, oh god, I'm so sorry. Like there's hesitation. Like it's not just I noticed she's having some mental, so I'm just going to sock her in the face. Like,
what I'm saying for this is that you're able to figure out that the shock of you hitting her is the thing that's more important than the actual impact. And so like you make this big exaggerated gesture to like swing for the fences, like knock her head off her shoulders, and then pull the punch at the last second to maybe,
and just go.
leave a bruise. Maybe hard enough to bruise, but you can see as soon as it happens, like that sort of fight or flight, that impulse of like, oh, I need to protect myself, snaps her out of the feeling, and the complication is removed.
Nice.
Thank you.
Great success, right? Because I thought it's
Yeah.
16. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So complication.
Still currently 16 until we have a sleep. Yeah. And then it goes down.
No, man.
and then you're gonna have a moment of like, did I really want to drop this training? So, you are taken out, and as soon as you're taken out, you get this like, oh. And then when you wake up from it, you're still seeing all of them look behind you, and you can kind of connect the dots in your head. It's like they're watching something stalk you. And it isn't a like enemy of my enemy thing. When you're back into being awake, it's very much like if someone walked through town and there was a wolf walking behind them, that moment of like, oh fuck.
That's kind of what I thought.
That's the sensation you got when you were connected with the hive mind. Now that you're disconnected.
Yeah.
So you two still have not gotten.
I'll relay that to the party.
We're being stalked.
Mm-hmm. Horned head emerging from a shadow pool.
What? I'm sorry. It had to be done.
Captain Griffle, that was an admirable punch. I thank you for your service. We are very grateful.
I got Captain.
The goal, again, because we got slightly sidetracked with the hive mind stuff, but the goal here is to avoid attention while you're making your way through the city.
So, Griffle, okay. What Griffle's going for, right, is like not to actually be inconspicuous, but to be so conspicuous that nobody wants to look at me. So I'm doing the Kronk thing where I've got my own theme music that I'm like.
So what are you guys doing? Again with the goal.
Josh, what would you like?
Yeah.
I'm really good at talking to people,
Yeah.
and it seems like that's not what we want to do. I mean, maybe I can use Streetwise to figure out how to get like past some of these crowds.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense.
Are we leaving in the same direction we came in?
Are there street signs?
Got it.
I
Some
think
that
we
say
can go around it that way.
docks.
We just come straight from the dock.
Yeah, so
I would like to use a streetways check to read the street signs.
to be clear, you guys went from the docks. You
To
went,
the
tried to go through one of the
brick
gates,
house.
but then you had to go to one of the other
Right.
gates. Then you went to the brick house, and then you went to the marketplace.
Yeah.
So like
So
you
we
went to
Big curve, yeah.
you went to several different places. So
Yeah.
getting directly to the docks and the way that the walls are set up, nobody really cares what place you leave from. It's the port of entries that are very strictly regulated. So the path back to the docks is going to be much faster than the path here.
Mhm.
Okay.
And it's not necessarily reading the street signs that's hard because they're all easy to read, that sort of stuff. What Streetwise would be was like, all right, what sort of things do I need to avoid, right? Like, all right, down that way is like another one of these markets, right? That's going to be a place with a lot of people. Down this way is it's now well into the evening. That place, this is where maybe the red light district or like the bars would be.
Mhm.
Let's not go to where the bars are right at the
Okay.
in early evening. That seems like a bad idea if we're trying to avoid notice.
Okay. Well, we're gonna see how this is gonna go. 15.
15 total.
Yep.
So that is that is not a success.
Nope.
And that is hey, remember that?
Complication?
Yeah.
Hmm.
So
Yay.
cross off our first complication. And
I accidentally take us to the bars. I almost want to do a thievery roll and see if I can get the armor I want to buy.
Or just start bleeding.
all right. How many options here? 2, 3, 4. Give me a D6 and ignore if you roll roll again if you roll a 6.
A 3.
3. 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So you head down as you guys are going down, you're like, okay, I think this is the way to go. This is the correct path to be. And you're like, all right, well, I expect that this area is going to be a bunch of sort of 9 to 5 shops, right? You go down like a craftsman's row. And the idea is, all right, this is going to be a craftsman's row. It's after business hours. All these places are pretty much going to be closed. And you're correct, except for the fact that, unbeknownst to you, this is where like a major guard station is. So like basically a police district headquarters is on the road that you're on. And you kind of, as you're walking down the street, the fact that you're walking down someplace where there isn't a bunch of people means you guys stand out a lot. And one of the soldiers sort of sees you all and kind of pushes someone next to him, and a couple of bladelings kind of come away from the guard station to come towards you guys as you're walking away from what is triggering all these alarms. And one of you looks like a guard.
Right. Griffle punches them in the face.
I like.
No, don't worry. Jock and I talk our way out of this.
So
I gotta crack it up.
Jock and I talk. I am the most charismatic person in the party.
complication, all points bulletin
Okay.
is the name of this one. All points bulletin is the name of this one. APB. Yep.
You know, I thought this guard thing was a good idea, but my brain isn't coming up with what to actually say at this point.
So they're walking up to you guys.
I'm ready. This complication's great. Give me an idea. That's fun. Okay, I'm gonna use Guidance of the Past because this is gonna fucking suck. I'm gonna do a diplomacy check. I guess this would be diplomacy. And I'm just gonna like walk ahead of the group slightly and be like, "What are you guys doing? Why are you still here? This is so all the commotions in the city center where the fruit market, the obelisk and shit. Like, have you not heard? Like, there's a giant explosion. People are jumping off buildings, and you're just sitting here doing nothing. This kind guard is leading us away from the danger." Is that diplomacy?
That sounds way more like intimidation to me.
What?
You walk up to people and say,
It's the same. It's the same. I use Guidance of the Past for this.
Like diplomacy would be like, oh, hey, did you guys know that there's a thing? All these people need help. Maybe you should come with me. That's diplomacy. Let's press them down for
issue.
Yeah,
Well, that's okay. ACAB.
Hey, Gab.
In the statement. That's okay. So it's the same anyways. It doesn't matter. And I'm gonna use guidance pass. I'll take 2 rolls. Luckily, I can phase myself with that. That's great. That's 11. That's a 10. Okay.
11.
So plus 5, 16.
Oh no, 16.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. So that is a failure on the check.
Great.
Remember what I said? Drock and I can talk our way out of it.
My turn.
So you step forward. Oh no, you got to be over there. And then everyone like looks at you and it's just like, the fuck? And then looks back at the guard behind you and it's just like, why are they talking to us? Like, who are you? Who are you people? Why? And then kind of after this moment of confusion, one of the people in the guardhouse steps out, who is wearing what looks to be more like well put together guard clothing. This person, not necessarily, there's no like marks of office or anything. They don't have anything that shows them as having rank, but they look a little bit better put together than the other guards do.
So a veteran.
Yeah, like a veteran or something like that. He steps out, he looks around and then sees this is going on and is like, so what do you know about what's happening? And then he like points to you and goes, an Imperium weapon with no bond. And you see him kind of like tilt his head to one sign.
No bond.
Your weapon isn't peace bound anymore.
Why is it? Oh,
Because you just fucking made your
We stabbed an obelisk.
Well, you stabbed the obelisk, but you used it as an element to fight things.
Oh, okay.
So the peace bond works until you fight with it, and you guys definitely just fought with it. That wasn't a small, like, easy, nothing combat either. So, like,
All right, I'll step up. I'll interrupt, and I'll say, forgive them. They were caught up in the fight and had to defend themselves. I'm taking them for medical attention now.
okay. So that sounds definitely like a bluff to me.
Yeah, we'll go with bluff. I just gotta find my button. Sorry.
Your button. Oh, your
and when he says that, I'll say, my leg.
All right, 31, Gary.
That's a cover. Meanwhile, One and Alana are like obviously injured.
Oh,
And Drock is obviously injured too.
yeah, I got the crap beat out of me. So I got 31. Do I still get my armor bonus? So that would be 33. I don't think it makes a big difference.
I tend to be a guard still, so
Yeah, so 33.
This is one of those.
Drock never rolls one. We're waiting to hear what your card is.
Oh, did you actually? It's a push. It's kind of like your thing. Okay, make an attack. +5, +10, +15 versus fortitude against each target in a line of 4, 6, 8 squares.
Huh.
On a hit, you may slide each target 2, 4, 6 squares. So it's basically like your except it's in a line.
A wind thing. Go to the lava, little
How
aberrant
does
creature.
that work on the diagonal? Is it? Or like if I
Line.
It is line. So basically, the way that what lines work as is charge. So if you pick a point and you have to go closer, so it doesn't have to be a straight line. It can.
Non-Euclidean.
Oh, okay.
lines.
Exactly. Okay, that's cool. Yes.
But straight.
That's going to be the reason you quit playing 4th edition.
10 points can be on a line.
I'll keep that.
So the 33, that he looks at you, and then you see him like take a look into it, and you can tell he's looking through your guard's uniform, like he's looking for something, and then kind of like shakes his head. Well, if you're trying to get them to the healers, then yes, should get them out of the danger. I can see that. And then you can see him like take a second and like actually then look a little bit harder at each person, and then see that like everyone is like has like obvious like blood stains and dirt, and like you guys got your asses kicked recently.
What was his role?
This guy.
33.
33.
Oh, that's a very good roll.
So you can tell that like the guy comes out like, what the hell's going on? And you're like, no, we need medical attention. And then he looks around, he's like, oh no, you actually guys, you do need medical attention. That is like,
Sorry through your
that
bullshit.
is that is objectively true. And then kind of takes that truth and folds it into something that makes sense to him. And then he says, well, if you think that one of the other stations further away will have a medical corps, but ours has been sent towards the center. Kakeshi will be making the rounds soon. Kakeshi.
I know.
So he says, we'll be making the rounds soon. And then you can see he takes a second, he closes his eyes, and then when he opens his eyes again, one, Morin, so the three of you guys can sense that sort of little pulse of magic coming from him as he opens up his senses and detects magic at you guys. So he's like, you making an Arcana check against you, more or less. So like he takes a second, he opens his senses up, and then he immediately focuses on you and says, if you have a moment, I think Kakeshi would want to know more about what's going on there, and you might have the ability to show him. And then that sensation passes and it closes. Like he recognized that you're somehow psionic in some way. And then he closed it off again.
I will clutch my face and say, I was greatly wounded. I'm afraid I saw nothing. I was knocked unconscious until these kind people saved us.
So give me a check next to that X, by the way, for the APB.
Yeah.
So it's 1 fail, 1 success.
These kind people.
And then that 100% sounds like a bluff check you're making. Like you're lying your ass off. So let's. Are you sure you want to use that? Die?
Did he call me? He
Wait,
called me
could
out.
one go on, like it knocked unconscious at any point during the fight?
No.
Oh, okay, so well, in that case, yes, it is.
So Lee got called out with my weapon.
I was gonna say if you could do like I'm telling the truth, just not the truth that you heard.
That you know.
Yeah.
The truth is you understand.
Yeah.
I mean, classic Tarvalon witch practice.
Yes.
Well, the idea here, right, is that the bluff check is for the deception. Whether you are being 100% like an Aes Sedai could make a bluff check to tell the truth and also be very misleading.
Yeah.
I'm gonna add 5 to my untrained skill check.
I'm gonna add 5. But like,
Here, did the officer call out my
Oh, almost
weapon as Imperial or that?
Imperium, yeah.
Imperial.
So you have an Imperium weapon.
24.
So
Where
20.
did you get Baneslave, by the way? There's like a
That's
That's Cyril, yeah.
Or to us. I just took it. 'Cause I'm cool.
So the 24 bluff, he says, well, I think even if you did not see something, there might be something in your. He kind of does this gesture around his head that Kakeshi might be able to sense. But no, health first. So go ahead and cross off APB. Or a second check, whatever you want to make it. But he okay, and then he kind of gestures to the other people to go back what they're doing, and motions for you guys to get through the station and back into the city proper. So in the idea of failing forward, 1 success. And then we've got, I'm not hurt from this, so we did 1, 2, 3 in this round, I think. Correct? So that's up from you guys. Yeah. So what?
man.
He,
For the second
he
scene?
unsuccessfully.
I failed.
He got us in trouble.
Oh, you were the instigator of this problem. That's right.
Right. Okay, so I just the only person around that's not gone is.
Okay, so what am I doing to get us through the streets safely?
So the
without
idea,
being
the
noticed?
idea is you're trying to avoid notice, going through this part of the streets, and where you guys are still having the people.
Or not
walking
necessarily
out.
just avoid notice, but we're trying to avoid being accosted, right? Like
Right.
we just don't want to be. So like, okay. So in that case, let me see what I can justify.
So do we get rid of the other complication?
Yes.
I'm trying to use. I'm thinking maybe heal, although you could justify a bluff check if you really want that to be a bluff check. I want to make us like look miserable. Like I want to just like use my knowledge of anatomy to like make it seem like we are just the
Like
most
the punch
grizzled.
Beats everyone up.
Yeah.
Gives us black.
She punches everyone.
Yeah, like I'll pull out like a bunch of bandages. Like I assume I have like a basic healer's kit. With,
Yeah.
Like some So like I want to pull out just like a bunch of bandages and put them around like even healthy parts and just like try and sort of dress us up as like we've done like field medicine, but we are still very like decrepit, right?
Yeah, I got you.
Like,
No, I can definitely see a heal check for that. That makes sense.
cool.
Yeah. And more along the lines of like your knowledge of how to deal with triage, right? You're
Yeah.
making yourselves look like you aren't the thing that needs to be dealt with immediately. There's no severed legs here, but
But we're still like we should not be stopped.
Right.
Like,
yeah, you've got someplace to be because you need attention still.
Oh no.
I just make us look like zombies. like I'm sorry, mummies. I put like
two plus what though?
too many bandages.
2 plus
16.
that's 18.
Oh, it's 18.
18.
Moderate.
Yay!
Great job.
We're in a scene that has already had a major complication, so that does mean that there is a like the DC are slightly harder.
Okay.
So it is actually not a moderate success. I don't think.
But the
Let me double check.
complication has been gone.
I know. I'm aware.
Yet, the threat level.
Yes, correct.
Make
So
a
the-
brawn.
it-
I'm gonna make a
Same.
Bronwyn
the
face. at this man.
tension is rising. Give me a d6. Actually, no, just do a d4 because I was gonna say reroll 3s and 6s, but I can just.
Not the
2.
This is the worst skill challenge we've had in
We've,
all
yeah,
of our
we
games.
we've never had a
No,
bad
no,
skill
no.
challenge though. in
It's
Fifth
not even a bad skill challenge. It's just that we've been historically very good at skill
We
challenges.
just not engaged with the skill challenges because
We get one complication in skill challenge. We're like, oh my god.
and now we've had two.
Here comes number 3.
And to be fair, we got through the complications really quickly.
I know.
So you trigger the complication, the war comes to you.
Great.
The war comes to you.
So you pause for a second, kind of pop into an alley, wrap up people for a moment, and are kind of doing what you can to kind of cover up bandages and things like this. Kind of getting the idea of like, all right, well, we need to make it look like a certain kind of way as we keep moving forward. And Griffin, you feel pretty confident that like, if you got done with what you were doing before someone showed up, that it would have been like it's gonna work.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, someone shows up before you're done kind of putting everything in place.
Uh-huh.
And so it's kind of obvious that you're not actually dressing wounds. And you see someone step out from a dark alleyway and then keep stepping out from that dark alleyway. As when someone steps down, you hear this heavy thuds of these huge feet as a small quotation marks small giant steps out from behind one of the buildings and looks down at you.
My, what large feet you have.
Is he larger than me?
So he's about actually I need to look that up real quick. 1 second. I need to see.
Is he going to do anything immediately?
He's gonna say something.
What if I say something first?
He's gonna say something as he comes out of the
Okay.
the darkness.
The sneakiest giant you've ever seen. Left the shadows. Giant assassin.
He didn't make any noise until he like actively yeah. Like you could tell that when he stomped his feet down to make noise, that was like clomp, very intentional. Yeah, so he's about 15 feet tall.
Cool.
Um,
That's all I.
and he
3 feet tall.
He stomps up, looks down. Battle the gods are busy. Nothing to see here. He reaches his hand into the dark shadow that's beside him and pulls out from, looks like he's pulling out from the building next to him, a heavy black two-handed axe.
I punch him in the face.
No.
And on that two-handed axe, you see a sigil of a hand with a cross that's like, looks like it's been stitched into the hand.
Have we seen that?
Cute.
That is a great kind of knowledge question. What sort of thing would you think to roll with your character? I'd be like, have I seen that symbol before?
That sounds
He's wearing armor with that same symbol on it.
like it is either some sort of guild similar to the vampires, like Vampire Court, or it's a religion. What did he say?
The guards are distracted. No one's going
No
to
one
notice anything.
It doesn't seem religious to me.
I'm gonna do religion. It seems like that's my immediate thought.
All right.
I do that, so he said that.
What's your religion?
What's your religion?
Plus 10. I'm losing my religion.
The armor that he's wearing and the axe that he's wielding look very different than things that you've seen before. You know that there's a lot of religions that are not found around the places that you're used to.
Mhm.
If that symbol is of like a mortal world from Sulban type religion, you're pretty sure it's not one of those. But also, you guys are in space on a moon.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other places.
On our moon.
Huh?
On our moon.
On a moon.
Our moon.
Sulban.
One of your moons.
Oh,
There's three
okay.
of them.
In that case, I'm just gonna be like, do
No,
you know
I'm
who
going to interrupt.
I'm just gonna.
I'm gonna say
I'm gonna be straight up with him. I'm gonna be like, do you know?
I am not gonna be straight up with him. I'm going
you
to.
actually interrupting me?
Yeah.
Okay, whatever.
I'm gonna brandish my spear and let it like crackle its lightning, and I'm gonna say, "Step off. You do not know the powers with which you seek to tangle."
Ooh.
Fuck yeah.
And I'm brandishing my noble influence as well. So
Just a few
that's
minutes.
3, 8, 26.
Oh, 26.
Worked out well.
So DM needs a second because this is actually a slightly different type of check. This is not against DCs. This is against us.
I feel
rules.
No. So
I'm joking.
this is a rule that is worthwhile explaining.
Okay.
Is it a
Uh, So no. So intimidate versus a hostile enemy there is a DC, but the DC is 10 plus the will defense of the thing you're targeting.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not great.
So it is very difficult if someone is going to be going after you for you to force them to surrender or back down.
Can you let me reroll?
No, that's not an attack roll, is it?
It's not an attack roll. No.
Oh, okay.
It is still a skill check. It's still an intimidate check. But the way that this works to get a surrender or someone to back down is you have to beat their will defense by 10.
Okay.
So it is a pretty difficult thing to do in most circumstances.
what if two people help?
Huh?
What if two people do it at the same time?
You can like assist and things like that, but the assist is only going to give you a +2. I will let you know before people start adding extra stuff to it. You've got a pretty decent chunk to go. Like,
Yeah.
you were not that close.
Yeah.
You could get there, but not with the
Not with a 3.
Not with a 3. So he smiles, and you see that about 3/4 of his teeth are black. They don't look like they're rotted. They look like they're almost painted black.
Mhm.
And it gives him this weird sort of almost like jack-o'-lantern type look. And he goes, "The bitch queen's little toys think they're scary, do they?" And he gets this big grin on his face. And then he pops his shoulders. And then when you see him give that big grin, you see the top 2 canines grow a lot larger.
Ogre vampire. Wow.
Who knew? Not ogre. Giant vampire. Wow.
I punch him in the face.
So here's the question for you
You got
guys.
Alana right there.
Here's the question for you guys. This he very clearly looks like he wants to make this a fight.
Draw, light up your weapon.
So the question becomes here: is this
No,
going
Hey,
to
we
be?
got him.
No.
Yeah. Alana's right there.
Is this going to be a fight, like a fight, or is this going to be getting away from him, or are you trying to do something else? How does the group want to approach this?
We need to leave.
Because he wants to make this a fight.
Well,
Oh, what's the competition called? It's called the War Comes to You or something like
Yeah.
that.
Combination is the war.
I should have paid more attention to that.
I mean, technically, your character doesn't know the name of
Yeah.
the complication, but yes.
I feel, and I'll run this by the party first, depending on what we want to do, but I kind of want to just step out and be like, oh, I've dealt with enough today. I don't want to deal with something else, but I want to like show off the guard's uniform and show them that not all the guards are busy. Because that was his whole thing. The guards are busy, right? So I want to kind of step out and show him that I'm a guard and see if that'll get him to back down too.
So I mean, the question is the stance you guys are taking, right? He looks like he's about to start combat. So if the idea is let's keep going, let's keep the skill challenge going,
can't
we can do that.
afford
Or
to
if
fight this
we're gonna leave, we're gonna leave. But the group needs to have a stance here because I need to know how to present the challenge that is represented by this giant.
We need to leave. We can't afford to stay and fight this
We gotta
guy.
fight him.
Yeah.
I don't know how others feel it. I'm really kind of annoyed by him, and I want to let him know that. It's like, you're just annoying.
So
I want to just walk up to him and be like, no, you already tried to intimidate, right?
So I mean, again, if you're making skill checks at him to continue the challenge going, that is a thing you guys can do. Or you can try to get away, which is going to be still a skill challenge, but it's going to change things a little bit.
Mhm.
Or you can try to fight him because
He's shit face.
effectively, if
What do you want me to tell your family?
then the DM then says from the clouds, roll initiative. Yeah, it's up to you guys. So you know that direct confrontation with this guy,
Mhm.
hey, intimidates or like other sort of straight things, it's gonna be combat. The DC for pretending to be one of the guards, especially after he's close enough to kind of see you guys trying to make it look like you're injured. You guys were putting on a disguise. The DC is going to be extremely hard. Granted, he's been on fire, rolling 33s all the time, so it's not impossible, but it is going to be very difficult.
So what if we put Alana behind us, pull out Triptychos, and make a break for it?
I feel like
I like that.
Triptychos does not work like that. I feel like Alana's fucked either way.
So trying to protect her from the light, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, blinding light.
I think that's
I mean,
Well,
it's not.
I think Alana will
So,
be.
so our approaches are either
I'm gonna
I don't want to fight him. That's my vote.
get the hell out of Dodge
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
or fight.
We're all
I think we're all on the hell out of Dodge.
So
No one has seriously considered fighting.
yeah, because I didn't know how much of a joke that was, and I didn't know how much because what Brock wanted to do would be a continuation of this part of the challenge, right? If he's trying to pretend to be a guard.
If the only two options are fight or run, then
Or
we're-
continue this sort of charade, but this DCs are going to be very difficult
Right.
knowing that he saw you look through it.
I
So
feel like that's a non-option. Then yeah, run. Let's run away.
Starting with Triptychos.
initiative's going to matter to them. So I do need
ran
initiatives.
away.
Yes, I do need initiatives because initiatives will matter for the.
Does this count as a surprise or anything like that? Are we level 11?
You are.
Not-
No, we have to run.
Oh, I think okay.
Hey, Gary, speaking of 33s, my initiative is 33.
Well, that's okay. I rolled higher than
28.
What do I
We
add?
are in exploration, but yes.
plus 6, 26 plus 3, 29.
33.
Probably shouldn't while I'm playing. All
right.
Too loopy.
So I'm going to start from the top. Does anyone have a 35? 34, 33, Druck.
You know what?
32, 31, 30, 29. You're
What?
bad.
18 plus 8, 26. And then I get 29.
29. So 29s.
Well, what's your bonus?
0.
Wait, what's that? That's not how that works.
Yeah.
No,
Your
like
bonus is 8.
Oh, 8.
8 total. Mine's 9 total, so I would go first, right?
It's not too bad.
Dex.
No, mine's wisdom with the feet.
Isn't that the thing you're thinking?
So you're in it here, the fifth level, and you got a miscellaneous bonus. Yeah. So your overall bonus. You don't go by your dex bonus. You go by your overall bonus. So your overall bonus is +8.
It's really 11.
Yeah,
But it's the whatever there's in the sheet because he gets the same bonus too. So he's just trying to see bonus first. So your bonus on the sheet is
So you
6.
go first.
Go very.
What do you want?
Just, don't worry about it. Just go.
On the sheet, 6 and 8.
Okay, great.
Carrying on.
You want to trade?
And then
28.
28. And then
I feel like my is really high. Maybe I was missing something.
Well, you get your dex and your half level.
But I'm rolling for wisdom.
Okay. So wisdom half level and
But I don't get dex right.
Well,
then 3 from Gripple.
so this number here,
Yeah.
this miss bonus should be the difference between your dex and your wisdom. So you should have a miss 5. So this should be 11.
Oh shit.
Oh, you add your wisdom on top of your dex?
No. His is a replacement, but his wisdom is 5 higher than his dex.
Oh.
So he needs to put in the little.
Yeah. So I would
Do
definitely
you
be
have
one
battle wise?
I'm probably above drop too.
Yeah, so you need to have in this little bubble here, this miss, a 5. Because that'll make it the correct.
So what'd you roll?
Is your number?
I rolled 20. I was like 29 seems one.
That initiative.
Yeah.
20. So you'd be at 34.
Yeah, sure.
Yes. So I'm ahead of drop then.
So he's 1.
Drop's 2.
Drops 2. I'm still 3.
I'm still 4.
All right.
Still lost.
I'll say you rolled pretty well though, didn't you?
No, I rolled a 6.
Nice. Good. 30, 29, 29. Cool.
No, I'm 15.
I'm just messing.
I'm at 15.
So, top of the round. Goal is get away from the giants. He looks like he's
I'm gonna hold my round for drop. Don't sit up. I'm a deviant.
I'm done. I flipped the table. It was too fucking heavy. All right, go ahead and drop.
All right, so I'm going to step forward. I'm going to say, not all the guards are busy, and I'm going to brandish my weapon as if to fight so that he really focuses on me. And just as he focuses on me, I'm going to use Triptychos, the power, and cast the blinding light. Basically, because we're in an alley, right? So sunlight in a dark alley would basically stun him a little bit.
Scooter behind us.
Well, she's leaning on Griffle, right?
Yeah.
Throw her under a blanket.
I just feel like
Sorry,
our
those aren't in. Sorry.
Sure did.
new pet NPC should not
Maybe
get
you get free
incinerated.
Yeah.
In 5 minutes.
So what we can do basically is, technically there's an order here, but also everyone's kind of acting at the same time is the idea. Is that I'm going to kind of have the effect of the sunlight on Alana be the end of the round if nobody does something to protect her.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right.
So
Someone will do something.
I'm assuming what you're using this for is bluff because you're trying to get the guy's attention to focus on you and then basically flashlight him in the face.
Pretty much, yep.
Are you wearing a trench coat?
I am still wearing the trench coat to make myself look like a guard, so.
Okay.
Ooh, so 22 only.
Only so 22. So that is going to be a moderate success, but it's not going to is not going to count as a success for this, but it's not going to count as a failure either. However, I would give you whatever your defensive bonuses are because you're burning a daily power onto this. Does the sunlight thing gives you +2, +4, +3, something like that?
1 sec.
4, I think is what it is.
+4, yeah.
Okay, so because you're using like a sunlight power versus a vampire, I feel like that is appropriate instead of giving you the defensive bonuses to give the thing as a part of your check. So that would bump it up to 26, which would be a success on the challenge. So that is
Fuck you.
1 success on this. So you blast him straight in the face, and you see that he doesn't really react very much. Like he reacts to someone like who's maybe used to darkness, having a bright light shined in his face. He doesn't really react, like his skin doesn't turn on fire. He doesn't burn away. There's no sort of dramatic, cinematic vampire moment. It doesn't seem to physically hurt him. But his shadow, which is sort of saturated the alley behind him, that sort of pulled itself up onto the walls, that's created this sort of whole region behind him that is shadowed, that does not react the same way. That burns away, and you can see pieces of the shadow sort of flake off and tear and disintegrate away from him. As he has to put up his hand to shield himself, you can see that the pieces of the shadow are like tearing away from him in these long strands.
Oh no, he's naked. Oh god.
Who flashed whom?
So- One success. It's your turn, sir.
Wow, I was so blown away. I didn't even know what to do. Good thing I'm going second instead of first. Can even though we're running away, can I attack him to slow him down?
Goal is to get away. So slowing him down or speeding you guys up both work. I will say that if you use a power,
Yeah.
the only basic benefit is going to be if you are burning a resource to do something. So like you can't use it at will and get everything.
Well, I was gonna do like Thunder Judgment to try to daze him essentially.
Okay.
Yeah, do that.
You can do so.
Let's do that. I'm gonna roll. Will I roll at it?
It's straight up an attack roll. This guy has defenses. This guy has is a creature.
Okay, plus 16 versus Fortitude.
16 for not gonna work.
No.
He is granting combat advantage, but I still think it's gonna.
Oh, 20?
20's not gonna have.
Why is he in combat? Oh, because
He's blind.
Yeah.
He's just flat. Flat in the face with a bright light.
cool.
1x, one failure.
So I just have the one success. or
One success.
And
And one success, one failure. Correct.
Okay.
Because the 4 was the basically the
trying not.
was the establishing the challenge. 2, 3. That's you. Hello.
It's me. Hello.
I will let you guys know that 3 failures is a combat.
Okay.
I guess.
And you're at 1 failure, 1 success. Yeah.
Sure. Sure.
Fair enough.
On deck. One of many.
I'm on deck.
But who's on third?
What's on second?
No.
1's 30.
Who's on first?
No, one is 30.
1 is 3. 7 is mine.
Yeah.
Um,
Thank God I had that coffee because I have like.
see? These coffee with.
I'm so glad I only had one cup.
Otherwise, you'd be as dumb as us fucks.
No, I'd just probably be a lot more vocal. I wouldn't be nearly as dumb as y'all.
I don't really know what I could do other than. I mean. Okay, so you're just not telling us what happened with Alana?
So basically what I'm saying is if nobody does something on this round to protect her,
Yeah,
she's gonna get burned by the light. I made it to where he could go first
yeah.
and not have to like delay to the end to do
Sure.
the light so that people could protect her first.
Yeah,
So if
you-
nobody protects her. She's
You
gonna-
made it so Drock went first.
Yeah. Basically, what I'm
Not
saying is I'm
Mr.
giving
I would like to change my initiative with everyone at the table.
and what I'm saying is I'm giving you the benefit of the
Yeah.
doubt that somebody is going to do something to help her.
Yeah.
And if no one does, then the bad effects of being a vampire in bright sunlight happen.
Yes.
And you guys know from the vision that she is not a daywalker.
So, question Griffle.
the day man.
I guess, yeah, question Griffle and Morin. Do either of you have something great to do for Alana, or should I do it?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I can probably just throw a blanket over her.
Yeah, I mean, I could throw my cloak
Yeah.
over her with a dungeoneering
Well,
check
you-
and a +5.
I guess I don't
Demon.
feel like I have anything super smart to do to help us get away from this guy. So I will burn my action helping her.
Okay. If we got anything that dazes him or slows him.
There's not enough colors.
I mean, like I could do
in
dimensional
five
scramble. Like, would I just do that as if we're in combat?
So because it's not anything that you would be using resources for, unless you're burning power points to do it.
I could do that.
If you want to burn power points, so you can make an attack against him, yeah, and try to get to
Or not the right
be further. Yeah.
Turn him around.
So a hit on the thing would be a success.
Okay, so I'll augment 1. Is that enough? Or you want to augment 2?
It would need to be 2 because you need to give an encounter power worth of resources.
Oh, okay. I didn't know this was a concrete conversion, but sure.
You get 2 power points at the rate that everyone else gets 1.
Hello? What is happening?
I don't know.
I got the giggles.
7.
So 7 plus. Six.
Is you no responsibility.
7 versus is that the 11 version, right?
23 plus 2.
Hang on. Gotta give me a second. Hang on. Pause. All right. So what was the
So it is a 23
23?
Combat advantage.
plus 2 for combat advantage. So
25 is not a hit, unfortunately. So that is a second failure.
Okay,
A 25 miss?
25 miss.
Or what was
What
the
did you
defense?
attack?
That doesn't make you feel that bad.
That's important. Dude.
Okay.
You hit him with the Thunder Judgment. That's what, right? It's yeah. Right.
Alright, so he's blinded, right?
He is blinded.
Right.
Correct.
I'm gonna cast Upsetting Onslaught. Because at the very least,
I'm upset.
I'm upset.
This is a hate crime.
and you should be upset too.
Alright, so this is a 19 plus
Third.
16.
Third person attacking this guy to avoid combat.
35,
Y'all are doing great.
a 37
For a piece.
against Will.
Yeah, it's definitely a hit.
Whereas my parents said when they spanked me, this hurts me as much as it hurts you.
Is that what they call an upsetting onslaught?
Is he pulling out a map because a 37 against the Will was a failure?
No, it's definitely a hit.
Okay.
I was pulling out a map because you guys just spent almost an entire round around the table attacking someone you're trying not to fight.
It seemed like the best way to not fight him.
Well,
we're not doing damage to him, right? I'm just inflicting a status effect, right?
but you're still
Doing emotional damage.
I'm just trying to teleport him away.
yeah.
You fall, but that's not my fault.
Like I want to keep it open, right? For hey, we're doing this thing, but like
You're fighting. Yeah.
if we're all using powers and attacking this guy, then we're very close to this being a combat.
Uh-huh.
But I will say,
Laws.
what does upsetting onslaught do? What's the effect of upsetting
The
onslaught?
target is dazed until the end of its next turn.
Okay.
It can negate being dazed by using a free action to deal damage to itself.
How much damage does it need to take to be
2d8 plus 3.
do the damage, please? He does not want to be dazed. He has
Roll initiative.
hit points. So pretty close.
Splurting greasies towards you.
Basically, what we're doing is the more attacks you guys are making against us, the more combat is becoming inevitable.
10.
One opportunity. Could gorge myself.
So should I do the damage for the regular attack as well?
Thank God I used all of my dailies on the
Greasy's not a thing.
Really?
And that
6
15
plus 9 is
I know,
15.
I was like,
So 15 plus
10 is 25.
you can't be that. I don't.
Yes.
I don't like wasn't it?
that is a success.
Where's the
Like
giant
the
initiative?
MVP. So
He doesn't have an
We're not
initiative 'cause
fighting.
we're not fighting yet.
We're not.
I have not yet begun to fight.
Griffle, how are you fighting to avoid this fight?
No, yes. Save Alana.
Somebody
And
has
the
to take
last one.
Don't have an option.
We were all busy.
Fighting.
Not fighting. Flying, eating a Reese's peanut butter cup.
I don't know if I like these.
You save the vampire.
Putting Alana's face in my hand.
I can't
Don't hurt you in the face.
Oh god, it's so tempting.
Please save the researcher.
On behalf of researchers everywhere.
I will take my big ass cloak, which is big because I am Lorg.
Mm-hmm.
I will put it over her shoulders
Ass cloak.
and tuck
I heard it too.
it tight around her.
You do have to roll for this. If you fail, you
will.
smother her.
No. Well, nicely. And then if I am allowed, post doing that, I will turn around with a scathing eye. I will take this. Where's that mug? Give me the mug.
Mom.
I will take
There's
this
still
mug.
liquid. A little
It
bit.
doesn't matter. I'm going to take this mug and I will look sternly at all of you. You should be ashamed of yourselves. What would your mother say?
All right. So I think by the most default of rules, that's thievery. But I can also see it being like because thievery is like sleight of hand and quickly like tucking it in, that sort of stuff. If you're just trying to like be big and in the way, especially since it's sort of like a much bigger cloak, try to manhandle her a little bit, quote unquote manhandle, then you can I can definitely see athletics as well. But it's kind of up to you.
It's going to have to be athletics
Feel.
because I think I may have negative dexterity, possibly.
I think you don't have negative dexterity. I think your
I
dexterity
should
is
get
12.
0. Oh no, it's 13 now because it has to be because I picked up a Dex 13 thingo.
Well,
Yeah.
it's 12 until you level up, and then
Okay.
13.
It's still going to be athletics.
Still manhandle.
Push 19.
19 on the die.
Manhandle that
That
bitch.
cloak is so on that vampire.
So,
I swaddle her.
Like, I cannot be anymore.
so
Swapping is fun.
walking is a pain in the butt. Is definitely a skill that you have to learn, which I was not prepared for.
You know, just lay them down and just roll them down the blanket.
Strangely, that doesn't work so well.
It doesn't, and I don't know why it doesn't. Like I was just like, hey, I feel like I
Is
should.
it just supposed to be tight?
No, it has to be like folded very specifically,
Oh
so
my
they
God.
can't wiggle out of it.
It's a whole fucking skill.
It
I can
is.
do a demo for you later if you'd like.
I would like that.
I would love to be swaddled.
You have my blanket.
I was gonna demo on a baby doll, not on a human. No, we definitely do that.
Some people have called Josh baby doll before.
Okay. End of the round. First dice, please.
Burst dice. You have all the burst dice.
You have
Okay.
my burst dice because for some reason you took it and threw it.
Over here.
That's
Pink.
correct.
You actually have all of our burst dice.
Cool.
Take that.
And the
Excellent.
red one is dropped.
Excellent. First dice. Got him.
Oh, more than the wing.
So does hers count as a success?
Yes. Well, she's not going to be blasted by the light, which is good because it hurts her a lot.
Right, but did we get another success in the challenge?
No. It does not get a success on the challenge. It does prevent Alana from being very, very strongly injured.
Barbecue.
Because she would have a traditional vampire reaction to a bright burst of sunlight. So this is plus 15 versus reflex. Oof. Oof.
31. That'll do
Like
it.
a hit. Well, plus what?
Different. 15 reflex.
Careful, which die is yours?
That's purple one.
This one, the
The
one
crit?
that's 2-0 on it.
Oh yeah, you got fucked.
What's mine?
A 3.
3 on the die.
Plus 15? Nice.
You have 15 versus reflex. So 18 reflex against you,
Misses.
31 against you,
Oh yeah, I hit it.
21 against you.
I did work on them.
Oh, warp in the week. Okay. And then so for those of you guys that got hit, 8, 11 plus 20 is 31 points of necrotic damage, and you lose a healing surge.
Cool.
Uh,
13 necrotic damage, did you say?
you
Yeah,
take
great.
38.
And I have no healing ceremonies.
Wait, did you heal? We're supposed to heal.
You know, I got my ass kicked on the last
I
fight. Are
wasn't
you
here for
kidding
that.
me? I'm exactly at 0.
Okay, good.
Bloody.
So say again how much that damage was?
30 points of damage to the people that got hit.
30.
38 to Gripple, who unfortunately goes critical.
Imagine going through that fight we're going through and then dying.
And we lose a healing surge, is that right?
Big thing.
And losing healing
I
surge.
was gonna say, why should you call him little?
He is 15 foot tall with like an axe that's bigger than he is.
Wait, so are we? This is not the shadow that is falling. Was it?
Does not seem to be.
Okay.
So this guy, he doesn't actually swing with that giant axe. He holds the axe out, and then you see him draw energy through the weapon, and like he's trying to draw your souls out of your body. And it rips big pieces of energy away from you.
Bloodied.
And draws it in him, and you see a little cloud of sort of like misty energy around him.
Fuck this guy.
You guys have seen this same sort of energy before. The cloud looks a lot like the cloud that you saw in the vaults with Purgator.
What?
Wait, what?
What?
The mist that was in Purgator's vault when he let you guys out in. There was a map for it, I promise.
Sorry, it was just like a nice conversation for 6
Yeah.
hours.
He didn't fight you guys, but when he let you guys you kind of convinced him to let him use the back door to let you guys get into the thing. You walked through this place with like the lily pads and swirls. There's a map.
Oh,
I briefly remember this.
Yeah.
But I don't remember there
I
being
don't know.
this.
We went through so many different rooms in that place. Like,
I don't remember.
In
The
the
illusion with the Leviathan?
so most of the time you talked to Hercator was in the at the bottom of the stairs
Mhm.
in Grederick.
Mhm.
And then you were like, hey, can we get out to go someplace else? We want to go to this other place. And we want to go talk to the broker. And he's like, cool, I'll let you do that. So he lets you through another place. And there was these things with these like I'll show you the map. There's big lily pads and then this river of this like mist around everything. And there's a big door, and you walk through the door and up the steps to get to the inside of the vault. I promise it's a thing.
I don't remember the mist being described. I remember the map.
I don't remember any of that.
It was a pretty map.
remember the map also, I just don't remember anything about the mist.
Huh. Okay. I thought we went from like the splash screen with Hercator to the splash screen of being in the iron.
Porch of the Iron Tower. Yeah.
No.
I showed you the middle one that has that. If I could I'll show you guys afterwards.
What significance is it?
It has something to do with souls.
Yeah, it has something to do with souls, and it's something that he just yanked out of your bodies.
Skulls.
You don't need one of those. It's fine.
We do. We owe somebody like 1,000 souls.
Top of the
1,
round.
2, 3, 4, 5.
Jock.
Rock.
Yeah.
Stop.
Is Clotho still around?
Yeah.
Is she doing anything? Probably not, hey?
She's not really reacting to what's going on around her. She's reacting significantly less than she was beforehand when she had a personality to draw on.
Yeah.
Now she's just sort of like mechanically in sort of a trance following along. Not the same sort of trance as the people, because she's looking at sort of whatever's interesting her in a moment. And at the moment, she's looking at the giant like it's interesting to watch.
All right, so we're still trying to get away. Like, is he still blinded? Can we just literally start moving away?
I mean, you can like run, yeah.
All right, let's just run.
What would plan? Yes, we are running. What are you doing to stay ahead of him? Like,
Well,
it
he's
is
blind,
athletic.
right?
athletics could be meaningful. You could do something like endurance. You could be. So right now, it's just been we've lobbed a couple of attacks at him to maybe cripple him, but haven't really gone anywhere yet.
Is there anything like we're in an alley? Is there anything? Because if he's blind, I want to like throw stuff in his way to make him trip and stuff as we're running. So like kind of endurance, run and chuck stuff in the way as we go.
Sure. Imagine Drock is trying to kind of do rear guard if he's throwing stuff down. Probably not putting that in front of the people behind you who should be running your direction.
Yeah.
I like when we were not in combat, we were fighting. And now that we are in combat,
No, we're not.
we're using non-lethal tactics.
All right. So Gary, I rolled a 33 again.
See, if he just rolls 33s all the time, then you're
Did
you're
you-
good to go.
Did you maybe mess with one of your macros and just accidentally type in like 3 instead of like 3?
No, so it's 18 plus 6 plus 1 plus 5 plus 5. So no, macro's good.
Yeah, just keep rolling 18s.
Mm-hmm.
That is a check.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So yeah, you guys start moving. At the end of this initiative, he's no longer blinded, but he does sort of, the alleyway is now different than what it was when the last time he could see. Even though he can see, it takes him a moment to adjust. In fact, there's a bunch of crap in the way, and he sort of like stumbles through things. What you do notice is that where people of your size might stumble over like the trash and debris and boxes and stuff, he's stumbling through it and like shattering boxes and making a shitload of noise. But those heavy feet, you're pretty certain if those land on you, it's going to be quite painful. Number 2 is making death saving throws, I believe.
Yeah.
Cool. Bang.
14.
14.
You were Mr. I can get myself on.
Are you going to use one of those powers to get out?
What else am I going to use it for?
Yeah. Obviously, today it's
Power.
Wait, I don't have healing
Hey.
surge though, so I can't do it.
uh
This has been a healing surge.
you have the other power though.
Do you
No,
have
no.
money one?
As a daily, and I already used it today.
Which one?
The summer lady one.
Some related one?
Remember, because we were in the below, and I said I'm gonna use the summer lady power to help Drock out, and that's how that Clotho got there.
Okay.
I'm not a cheater.
No, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Let me see Shadow Jade real quick.
Suspend a healing surge.
Yeah.
Messed it up.
Well, we could have said that we did the ritual or
I
No,
thought that was a
that-
long ritual. I was just thinking the same thing.
So I would say that if you want to use that power, I'll let you get up to a hit point. So you don't have any surge to spend, but you did burn a resource. So if you want to be at 1 and get away, you can be at 1 and be trying to get away. I mean,
Sounds
the other option is someone else is going to have to make a check to
Carry you.
carry you.
Yeah, we'll use it. Go to 1.
Or I could heal him on my turn.
I don't have it. Well, I guess it would be a flat amount,
No.
but that sounds like what?
Since
Oh,
you
but I
might
have
be
this
able
in
to
my
use
have a surge.
this.
Then yeah, that was not useful. Good one.
You need surgical healing, which is possible, but it's very rare.
What you need to do is
there are those healing potions though. aren't there?
But someone has to give it to me.
Yeah.
But we do have those.
Yeah, you have them, but someone need to take the action to
Right.
make the thing.
His
His problem is that he got hit really hard.
ass clapped. Cool.
So what are you doing to get away? I will let you know that because we are this close to combat, if you are making an attack roll against him, we're just going into combat.
I
Although he did make the religion check at the beginning for that symbol, did anyone else want to make a knowledge check? We got slightly sidetracked from the discussion, but I didn't know if anyone else, I don't know if care is the wrong word, but like it feels like they have a reason that they would.
did he give it away? He kind of gave it away.
Does he work for Turi?
You've seen the tree symbol before, it's not that.
But that's not the same as the Night King
What
one.
about the
The Night King symbol is
is Turi?
Night King is the head of the tree.
Got it. Yeah.
What about Lee de Vito?
The Vito, it's
They're underlings of that.
no.
Leader of Vito was the Night King as well. wasn't he?
No.
No, he was from a faraway one.
Is it the Sunforge?
So
They're
The Toe is a house. It's one of the major houses, but it's one of the smaller houses.
Do we recognize it from any vampires that we've ever seen in our lives?
It's not one of the houses that you guys have had direct contact with.
Okay.
The Self-Forge is an
How many
interesting
courts-
question, but I think we would recognize this.
How many courts were represented at court? Sorry, that didn't sound like it made sense, but you know what I mean, right?
How many vampire courts were at
The court,
at the Song's court?
correct.
So at court there was only 2 courts represented. So at the supplicant's court or at On's court, there was basically the Song. Technically, that there's 3, but there's 2. So Desang and then the Toe, and the Toe specifically was the emissary sent from the Vampire Council. So like he's sort of like the collective, all of the vampires together. He is supposed to speak for the council itself. There wasn't any Turi representatives that were
Instead, he spoke to the floor.
But he said, "Bitch." Did he say black bitch or bitch queen?
Bitch Queen.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like,
That's not black bitch.
when he said bitch. Okay, what am I doing? I'm sorry.
I mean, self-forged are all of
Yes.
so you would all
Cybernetic. You recognize the self-forged.
previous.
Also, the self-forged are not an officially recognized court anymore.
Anymore, they once were.
They were trying to get on to have a seat at the council, and then that did not work.
Oh, so
Okay.
it's like trying to join the EU then.
Yeah.
The thing.
Or data.
I
Hold down the power on the left side.
would like to,
Or get
Good night,
If-
everybody.
Good night.
Can I read it? if possible, would it be, would I be able to observe the way, because the way you sort of describe the way he moves, or at least exists, is that he seems to be very connected to the shadow. So would I be able to observe the way he moves? That is there anything special so that we could find a path that would potentially be difficult for him? Like, is he connected to the shadows in some way, or is he just like a big dude who walks?
So what I think you're trying to ask is, if we're trying to get away from him, does it look like there's a way that we can go that'll make that shadow thing behind him harder to follow? Is that the question you're asking?
Yes, because I'm assuming that's sort of the source of his power and or movement.
Okay. That is straight up an insight check. But I can also see perception or
Insight's always sick for me. But
So I think you were trying to-
been
I
sick.
think you were trying to justify an insight check is what it sounded like.
Always. 13 plus
13 is not a bad roll.
18, 31.
31 got 4 successes and 2 failures. So
Getting there.
we are regardless of result, one roll away or one check away from the result of the resolution.
Oh,
This shadow.
well, all right.
Number 3.
Great.
So that is a success.
Still on my shoulder.
Let me answer your thing and then it'll be up to you. So as you guys continue to move away, you can tell that when you get to like a major thoroughfare lane, so the lane you were going down that was like, this is the Craftsman's Road that had the police station on it effectively.
Yeah.
You can tell that he gets to that and hesitates, like he doesn't want to cross a major street.
Yeah.
And you can see,
Are there like street names?
yeah, I mean, this place is well lit.
Yeah.
The alleyway isn't super dark. And you can see as you guys kind of go into the area like that is more well traveled, he's looking around, kind of looking back and forth. It doesn't necessarily look like he can't cross, but he's very wary of other people being around, like of other people being anywhere in the vicinity of what's happening here. So this is like, you guys break out into the street, he goes to follow, and then his first step is, all right,
Like a thug.
and like he's gonna engage.
Blow your rape whistle.
Well, your what?
Blow my rape whistle.
The fact that you think Morin doesn't have one.
With this thing.
Lauren's a boy with some trauma.
Could you use your arcana to essentially make his peace bond ping alarm really loud and draw cards
Oh,
because he used it against us.
that's true. Is it going on? Is it broken?
His weapon still looks bonded. He held the thing up in front of him, and then he used some other power.
Oh,
So he's brandishing the weapon, but he hasn't used it yet.
Maybe he
Okay.
can break the peace bond.
so I like that idea. My thought, which I don't necessarily think is better, is that I could conjure a couple of sun rods and put them near us to just like make it more.
Yeah, that
Visible.
works.
Because you said he doesn't like being out in the open.
Maybe it's not necessarily being in the open, but there's definitely a motion of
He doesn't want to draw attention.
he doesn't want to draw attention to himself for some reason.
Yeah, I like your suggestion. Can I do that, do you think?
Can I get back my disease that puts eyes all over?
So
Look at all these
your suggestion was
So like
Break
trigger
the-
his
break
weapons,
the
essentially.
peace bond.
break the peace bond on his weapon to draw attention. Yeah,
Yeah.
you could totally do that.
Here come the cops, bad boy.
I mean, yeah, I can't see anything else that would work other than I need to look at the. Do you have harm as a ritual?
I don't think we can all be vampires.
I think I do.
It's a.
I don't.
Can you look at the ritual book because it has his rituals too?
Oh, okay.
I
I
appreciate
wanted to come up with something to say, but then I just enjoyed the suggestion. So
I said we could all be vampires.
you could be
No.
they're
I
vampires.
need to look. I need to look at the way the ritual works real quick before I give you an answer.
why vampire is a class and
They're not.
Oh,
Oh wow.
It is.
It is.
Hmm,
It's a class.
Yeah. It's not a race.
yeah.
Well, because vampires. can be
Okay,
vampires,
I
right?
need just I need a second. I did not realize this was a check on his part.
Mm.
Right.
I guess you can do it, and then I need to
Oh,
see if I can beat
vampires
it.
would be
So,
vampires.
so you're gonna set and so you get
Like,
plus 10 to Arcana, and then I have to beat that check.
Yes. Yeah, you're totally right. Because obviously,
So,
vampires walking out. There's a
yep.
vampire
Yep.
warrior.
So pretty good that you're probably gonna win.
Oh, it's such a bad roll.
Oh,
Okay, so 28 plus 4, 32.
so 32. I need to make an AC 32.
Was that?
They're equivalent. Werewolf is a theme, so vampire should have been a theme.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Vampire is the. Oh no, that's a multi.
I agree that vampire should have been a.
See, I have the Gary Gygax backing me up.
Well, the other thing is that the vampire class just doesn't have enough stuff in it.
It's boring and unfun also.
Yeah, it's boring and unfun because it just doesn't have a class's worth of stuff in it. That's wrong.
DC 32.
I'm trying to
Jock
see-
eats those for breakfast.
Yeah, by one.
All right, so maths.
This is America. We use deals.
Like Foxy said, it's not mathematics.
Correct.
What's your roll? 32.
4, 32.
No, but 32 is my
But I
DC.
think it was a 7.
No.
Oh.
So I need 17. No. Yeah, I need a 17 on the die.
But-
Oh, do you see how close that was?
I did see that. I did see that happened.
Okay.
One drop.
No,
This
it's
is-
a 7.
But it was like
Oh, it's a 7?
it was like the closest
It
to
went
being
from-
17 in the world.
Fully failed.
So you can see he tries to shroud the peace bond, like he can tell that's what you're trying to do,
Mm,
and you just pop it straight through. The peace bond sort of fills away from the weapon, and you can have a little pulse of alarm go off. And while you don't actually think you sense that like people down the street where the police station is like looked over that second, he kind of reacts immediately like, oh shit. And then he kind of growls, snarls, takes a step back into the shadows. And then he kind of like looks for a second, seeing you guys continue to go away. He shakes his head. Some fool. And then just
You can't say
fades
that.
back into
That's racist.
shadow.
I will say after him.
Only Draw can say that.
I will like say after him as he goes, like, run with your tail between your legs.
Don't provoke him.
As we ran away, you're gonna tell him that he's fucking.
We never
Yeah, that's
Coward!
He bravely retreated in the
Fair.
advance in the opposite
Our
direction.
retreat involved 3 separate attacks on him.
So Rob
And
Which
battle.
he shrugged off.
bravely ran away. With danger in its ugly head.
Discretion is the better part of that.
All right. So
And gallantly we chickened out.
he when he steps away, he doesn't make any noise again, and you just see this mass of shadows crawl back down the alleyway.
Is it like Margot Hunger?
It has a similar feel to it, but it's definitely like a different flavor. It's definitely not a Turi style ability because Margot's thing like bubbled out of her.
Right.
This is kind of reverse.
But the
It's like
Turi
the
don't-
darkness is around and he draws it to him.
The Turi are the only ones that can like have truly mastered the hunger.
According to her.
But only
Right.
some of the Turi
Right.
who are like within her.
Specifically, her family within the Turi.
Yeah.
Are the specialists.
Hunger specialists.
All right.
So for the to be clear about this is something that your characters might be able to understand, or your characters would understand, that I'm not sure I've ever said. But from the description that Margot gave you, you're pretty damn certain that Ferno is a hunger specialist.
Hmm.
Like
But he's not Turi, is he?
he's not Turi. Yeah, he's Dasani.
Okay.
So like it's not the whole Turi, but like each individual vampire has things that they're good at.
Mhm.
And like groups of vampires or families have things they're good at. But she gives you a description of a hunger specialist, like what they're really good at. And it's pretty much what Ferno is known for.
Ferno is the one we are kind of subcontracted to, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bloody Baron.
The Bloody
Yeah.
Baron.
Yeah.
But he's also a guy who we knew was like hunting dragons.
And also never something.
It was scary.
Like most subcontractors.
Don't talk to the boss.
Yeah.
I'm trying to avoid doing work.
I mean, we kind of just went like straight over his head.
We did.
But the one time you've really gone straight over his head, you've done so in a way that reflected very positively on him intentionally. So
Cool.
that did help with it being a problem.
Mhm.
So that is the end of initiative order. If you guys toss me back flags, please.
That was not as successful as I hoped.
I mean, it made it to me, so
Us during that entire steel town.
Title of my six.
so that scene is finally resolved. So you guys get away from sort of the secondary impact zone, and you are now making your way towards the gates themselves. So this is the gates of the city. This is getting out back towards the docks. Here, the sort of attention on you guys is pretty low, but there are people here that kind of know your faces, right? Like the guards when they came in, you guys made a big scene. The people that are going to be guarding the gates themselves are going to be people that might have seen the big scene from.
Yeah, so prior to that, Gary, I want to change the armor back.
Yeah.
As we go into this scene, I'm going to use insightful comment.
What does that do?
What is your
a
comment that is inside?
+6 to bluff, diplomacy, and intimidate.
It's a-
end of my next turn, but basically one round for everyone.
So while getting out of the city is very easy, there's very few sort of checks on this. This far away, people here know some shit has gone down, and so there is a flood of people leaving the city, getting to the docks, like trying to get away. People out this far, you guys have walked, 20, 30 minutes from the center of the trouble.
Mhm.
People here on the edge of the city know that some shit is going down and are trying to be anywhere else but here.
Oh.
And so now this is going to be working your way through the crowds while in some sort of orderly fashion. But you know that there are specific guards that know your face,
Mhm.
and if one of them stops you, it could be potentially pretty bad.
So I imagine that we'll stick out as a group. So what if we were to split up and try to go through like a different guard?
That's D&D strategy.
We don't have to go very far. Just like not go through the gate at the same time. If there's like lots of people going through.
To kind of blend into the crowd.
Yeah.
A very good idea.
But I want to take Alana through the gate.
You wrote that.
Exactly. And I don't know, is a guard gonna do any or say anything to me? Because I think to get past the guard, I would say something like, something is attacking the city. This isn't a safe place for undead.
And there is something like that. Like everyone has a different thing that they're talking. The guards have to basically like, individually check person through because everyone is trying to leave. You can see that it's like really fast.
Yeah.
So basically, what we're going to do is everyone has to do something to get past the guard rather than needing a certain number of checks. Everyone has to do something for how you are getting past the guard. So if you are, hey, this something is going on, the city's not safe for undead. Me and Alana are heading out through together.
Yep.
That sounds great. That's not even really a bluff check. That's just sort of true.
The city's not safe.
Not safe in general.
Some
So
unsavory
what, I could do
people
roll
being-
diplomacy for this?
Yeah, you can roll diplomacy if you
And that was
choose.
+6, right?
+6 to diplomacy and bluff and
Could you give me the grade?
Yeah. All right. Well, I didn't roll a 1, so it beats hard DC.
It'd be hard to see by more than 10. More than 10?
Yeah. So 19 plus 24 is 43.
43? Yeah, no, you're golden. So like
And I look back and go, and my friends.
so yeah, effectively, so you'll be able to you get sort of a Benny these things. You take that and you can give that to anyone else in the scene to increase their
I see.
successes by 1.
You get a Benny.
Get to
Congratulations.
eat this little bun.
Is that like a benzo?
I don't. This is from another game system that I don't remember what it is.
That was a drug
It's a
joke.
penny hun.
Benny Hanna.
But it's just a token to say that you get to do something cool before the end of the round.
Okay. Redeem for 1 shrimp. 1 free coconut shrimp. Penny huns.
All right. Does anyone else have something that jumps out of them as what they would say to get past the guards?
Bye.
Hang on a second. Griffle, do you have
Have you
something?
any cats? Or like stray animals?
Probably. Why?
I'm intrigued.
Grab a bunch and be like, oh, these poor animals. We have to get them out. What? They're not safe here.
Beautiful. Masquerades this crazy cat lady.
Masquerades?
Not even a bluff check.
I mean, is that the idea?
Yeah.
Uh,
I'm an animal shelter rescue person, but I'm not gonna actively lie. I'm just-
I'm an animal shelter rescue.
do you have a percentile dice over there?
I do.
I rescue animal shelter.
How many cats are behind
How
you?
many cats do I?
Well, I'm trying to see I'm trying to think about like what sort of
You want me to roll a percentile?
Yeah, I do. What's your roll percent? Give me a second to make the tiers real quick. Because this isn't like how successful you are. This is
What silly thing happened?
what's a right. Because the idea, right, is that a bunch of people are leaving the city, and they're leaving the city in a hurry.
Yeah.
And so, if there is something that they would leave behind, or that would be stirred up by this, like what has been left at the gate. And I'm gonna say that higher is better.
Okay.
I got it. Go ahead.
All right. So we have a 72.
So,
Pretty good.
with a 72, basically you can see that like someone whose whole like it was like a dog walker who that had a bunch like one of those things where it's like a bunch of dogs all see together, realized some like horrible shit was going on and being like, I'm gonna lose my job, but fuck it, I'm getting out of the city and just like let them go. And so they're all still connected to each other. So
It's
they
a dog
can't get away from
king.
each other. So the difficulty here, the hard part, if you have all these dogs and you're going through like, hey, I need to get these animals out of the city, that's gonna be the easy part. The hard part is going to be to calm the dogs down enough to be able to wrangle them out of the city.
Listen,
There is no animal handling, but nature would be an okay stand-in, right?
Nature is animal handling, straight up. It is one of those.
it's worth taking a picture if you can't see.
What is it? Because so you know, there's like a lot of dogs in Is that your house?
No, it's just a calendar, but this is just a picture that I've always had in my D&D notebook. Now I know why.
It's the tagline of this campaign now. There's a lot of dogs.
Just so you know. But yeah, so nature would be the check you're
Alright.
going for.
Let's do it. I'm gonna choose this dice. The 13. Plus 16.
16. 29. Slammed your way through it. So like
Plan.
basically the dogs are freaking out about things,
Okay, but I have food, so
but you have food and also just like a strong, like they're kind of used to following whoever has the centerpiece of this thing.
Mhm.
And so you can make your way to get to the middle of them. Once you have the lead, then the dogs are like a big tug and like, oh, okay, hang on. We know how to handle this. The dogs are not like wild dogs. They're just scared and currently not managed. And so you're able to sort of pretty quickly bring them into line and then taking them to get out. The guards even recognize several of the dogs. And you can tell like the guard recognizes a couple of the dogs. Like maybe the dog walker walks by here frequently and it's like, oh, okay, yeah, no, make sure that, but when it's time to get back into the city, speak to this one
you
down
being
here.
a bugbear, but
It is. Maybe he doesn't like know a specific dog walker, but it's like I've seen
Yes,
that
the
dog around
dogs.
the neighborhood. He recognizes the
right,
dogs.
the dogs.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right, raise your hand if you know more of your neighbor's dogs than you know the
I
names.
actually
100%.
Yeah, no, totally.
There's a thing in this neighborhood where I have literally no idea what the name of the people is that lives there, but on the like group Facebook page, they're like the doodles are out again. So like I know where the doodles are, but I have no idea if that's the name. Is that the name of the dogs? Is that the breed of the dog? Is that the name of the people? I know.
What if that's the family name of the people?
All of those.
I don't
The
know.
doodles doodle.
Yeah.
The doodles.
Mhm.
But they do look like a Labrador Retriever Poodle mixes. What the
Yes.
dogs look like.
Yeah.
That's a doodle.
That's a doodle.
Yeah.
Oh, well, then it's the name of the dog.
Or a
Golden
labradoodle.
Labradoodle. Yeah.
Yeah,
They're
they're very popular.
they're big and poofy. All right.
A lovely
Success.
Is there
The three of you guys.
an orc man I can see, or woman, or person?
or person.
For
Black
what?
green skinned individual.
There are orcs. that are
It
here.
needs to be green.
I put my hood up and pretend to be their child.
I don't know. Are they bigger than you?
Yeah, let's do it.
That's a bluff. It's my,
100% a bluff.
it's a,
Oh, that is exciting.
let's put it 13 plus 10. No, 13 plus 13, 26.
26.
Right on the money.
Right on the money. Hard DC. I mean, I would have actually made the DC slightly lower for the good idea. But, so like you kind of are exhausted, you're kind of huddled, and you just sort of like, and you get next to this orc who sees you there, and you can sort of tell that you're just.
Oh, I'm
trying to
thinking
make-
like I'm like wholly under their cloak. I'm like,
no, like
yeah.
same thing. So it's like notices you're there, and then takes a moment of like, what the hell? And it's like, all right, well, but there is shit going down. Okay, fine, yeah. Like a moment of like, this is not my kid. But also there's shit going down, so that's fine. I'll vouch for the kid to get out of the city. That sort of moment,
And then you just take off the hood and you're like, thanks.
Deeply. Got a six.
this little baby with a cigar.
Boss baby.
Boss baby, like the old one. The
Thanks, Dad.
yeah.
Oh,
What was is it Roger Rabbit?
Yeah.
Roger Rabbit.
Roger Rabbit.
I'm thinking of the duo from Zootopia, Gary, if you've seen that one.
I mean, I have seen that one. I do know what you're talking about. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So, Kylie and JP, you guys are the two that are remaining.
Yeah, I'm having like zero ideas.
Okay, so I will grab Jock and I will push my way through to the guards and I will say, excuse me, we have been here on this shopping trip. We came to Silver Spire. It is our honeymoon, and I was punched in the face. I did not see the assailant. We will never come back here again. I would like to go home now.
0 out of 5 stars.
Extreme Karen energy.
All right, so you're exploding with Karen energy out of this place.
I love
So-
it.
What's great about this is her bluff checks have been phenomenal tonight.
I did get
It's not a bluff. I am a Karen.
shopping trip,
What?
and I did get punched in the face.
Minnie does give off Karen energy from time to time.
So what is it you're trying
Whose
to
pay
make it?
grade would it not be above?
Bluff's good.
I mean, bluff.
I know.
I mean, it sounds like intimidate for all the Karen energy, but I can see a bluff.
They're the same.
So you're a plus 6.
Is Drock
for him.
assisting?
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, can I
He has
assist?
to make his own check as well.
Oh, okay.
So, Drock, are you going along with this sort of
Oh,
straight
yeah.
up? Or is
Yeah,
this-
yeah, just straight up going along with it.
All right.
Pretend to be weary husband.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, dear.
16,
I know it's such
26,
a travesty.
and
32.
32.
Dear, we'll send a very strongly worded 25-word sending when we get home.
Another thing.
The sending is this last
The sending is 1 out of X.
It's a whole this whole complaint. You get all the way through, and like the last 3 words are "and another fail," and then you have to wait for 5 minutes to get the next one.
All right.
So
I'll
what?
take a card.
Yeah. What was? What was?
Hard. Extreme Karen energy.
No, it is a card. But what was the check? Is what I was asking.
Oh, like
Yeah. Oh, it's just like fucking. Just ready.
Yeah, 32.
Oh, okay. So I make a ritual alchemy check. It doesn't take components.
Okay,
And then you flip a coin. And on a head, it produces twice the effect. On a tail, it produces half.
Have any of that, dude?
So who's going to be doing rituals? Because it's not going to be me.
We don't have any
Really
ritual
irrelevant.
alchemies unless you're a rogue.
oh yeah.
It's ritual,
Ritual
alchemy.
or alchemy check.
Yeah, you can have double the effect of a
Give
ritual.
them one. She does it more.
Right.
To organize.
Well, we could just pass it around, right?
So you can give him your card. If you get one, you can only have one.
Oh,
Oh, what is yours?
mine is +2 AC,
So
or
I think that's probably very good for him.
+4 AC. As we sleep.
Wait, once we sleep, this card upgrades.
Yeah,
exactly.
it does.
That is an accurate statement. All right.
Do you need a bluff
So-
check from me as well, then, Gary?
Yes.
+6.
Okay, 24 plus 6, so 30.
30. Easily done. So you guys are able to make it through there,
No
each
breaking bonds,
kind of breaking up
How long do I keep this?
just into the end of the scene. So no one needed it, sadly.
I don't think that's a thing.
All right.
No one needed it because this round of skill challenges went like your normal skill
Oh,
challenges go.
I like had it off.
So you guys all split up for just a minute, individually make your way through the gate flawlessly, pop out the other side and tear ass towards
We're like
yours.
Ocean's 11.
Yeah.
We're doing skill checks like we normally do skill checks.
Yeah.
Break up, get back together, and are easily able to make it back to the ship from here. Once you make it past the gates themselves and the press of bodies, there's no alarms, there's no people that are specifically looking for you. The docks, while they are very busy, you don't have any choke points where there's just tons of people going in the same direction. Everyone's sort of splitting off to their own individual stuff. And you guys make it onto the ship. And as you guys are approaching the ship, you see the bosun like notice you all approach, and then his eyes widen as he sees that you guys are like all just beat to shit. And he
You're
turns.
still bloodied.
Is he surprised?
We leaving, boys. and he, starts the whole thing of let's get away from the dock.
Yeah, 'cause at this point, is he surprised that we come back looking like shit?
He doesn't look surprised
Griffel's
that you
got
are
like
doing
king
that.
dogs. He just brings them on.
Dog.
Or do you let the dogs go on the other side? Or you taking them on the ship?
Why would I let them go?
I don't know.
Dogs.
No,
I don't want to just let them
I
run
do not
wild
want
in
the
street.
dogs.
Morn
No
is
allergic.
allergic.
Are dead people? Do dead people have allergies?
This dead person does.
We should not take the dogs.
I mean, this might sound horrible, but do we still have a dragon on board that needs to eat?
A dragon man.
No, an actual dragon.
Magical table that
We
makes
have
infinite
n-
food.
We have never had a dragon on board.
Debatable. It was that one time that the ship almost fucking
Fell out of the
dropped down
sky.
the sky because of fucking ages has fed us.
All right. So you guys all get aboard. Again, the bosun isn't shocked that you guys are returning like some shit went down. But he is like, okay, we went from we have a moment to we no longer have time. It is time to get going immediately. The question for you guys is
Where do you go?
where are you going? Yeah.
Haven. Yeah.
We're going straight there.
Well,
That's you did correct.
An intermediary point wherein I can rest.
Well, could we? Here's a. Well, I guess never.
Why
Yeah.
can't we recognize
Once
it? They
it-
said that it isn't starting just yet. Like
So-
we're supposed to do our thing before the attack.
right.
Yeah,
the night
so-
before.
The Night King thing that we're supposed to do is the night before the attack on Haven.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Is this
This
What day?
tomorrow.
early morning of that day, or is it the early morning the day before?
Neither.
Oh, geez.
From Haven's perspective, it is midday, like 11 a.m. on that day. From you guys, it is like just after midnight here.
Oh, because we're on like the opposite side of the.
Yeah, you guys are
On moon.
on a moon. The time is very different. So when you go to Haven, it's going to be like mid morning, late morning.
So we would have time for a long rest, and then shit would go down.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Okay.
Would we have time for a long rest and a shopping trip?
It's gonna be
Let's put
awkward if we didn't
yeah.
shop because
Yes.
It
Yes.
would be very awkward if we didn't shop.
The answer to the question is yes.
although you're exhausted.
Because
Gunbuster specifically requested
So the thing I
shop
was gonna say
before
is-
combat.
you need 6 hours to rest.
Okay.
That is what an actual
Oh,
standard
that
rest
is-
is. You need
That's
8
neat.
hours if you have someone stay up on watch, because you can sort of cycle through watches, right?
Mm,
So if the assumption, so I'm just saying, if the assumption is that you let the crew be on watch for you
Yes.
and you sleep on your ship and take an extended rest, you guys can none of you all can be on watch and you can quote unquote gain 2 hours.
okay.
Or you guys could play it safe as far as keeping someone on watch and up and about when stuff's going on, but you'll be much closer to nightfall when you have to you
Even
guys
with
are-
8 hours, it'd be 7 p.m., right?
yeah. So with 8 hours, you're still gonna have time, but it's gonna be time to shop and then in basically shopping and then fight.
I mean, I think that's probably the plan either way, right? What would we need extra time for?
Depends on if you're gonna talk to anybody in Haven.
We have to talk to people in Haven, or we will fuck up. We will die.
Because the original plan was we're gonna go talk to people in Haven, and then you wanted to do a quick side quest before.
Bored.
It's fair. You one thing that can be said about Silver Spire is that it was not boring.
Yeah.
One
my-
question I have is whether it would be worthwhile to have the warder look at your mind. Since you were,
Dragathlo has the disease.
or did you resolve whatever the half mind thing was?
I mean, the complication has been resolved. Whether there is any lingering effect is yet to be seen.
Do I
But-
sense other presences around me?
The complication was resolved, and then the guard looked at her and was like, "Oh, our medic could like take care of that." Is that right?
No, the medic wanted to see if I don't like there. The medic wanted to see if they could read my mind to get a better understanding of what had happened.
Yeah, so she said,
Oh,
I got
okay.
knocked out. I didn't see anything of what happened around
And he
there.
was like, "Well, you're psionic, so I could just read your mind to find out."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not, he couldn't do it, but like
Yes.
A better.
one of the specifically the person he said a specific name, Kakashi, could do it. And yeah, hey, talk to them. He might be able to get something from you, anyways.
I see.
So I didn't see anything. It's like, cool. Well, you're psionically gifted, so talk to this guy, and he might be able to get something out of you, even if you think you didn't see anything.
I don't know how you guys feel about it, but maybe going and taking our little long rest nap in the lab, so that whatever is following us might have trouble following us into the
I'll
pocket
go
dimension.
sleep in the containment field.
Yeah.
To make my life easier, I'm going to give you how to spell this guy's name because I've said it a couple of times. So Kai.
This is the guy that I should have.
Well, there's like the name was said several times. So
Yeah.
and then last name Keshii. Kakashi.
Not Kakashi.
Kakashi.
Oh my gosh.
They sort of say it like it's one word. Like everyone says his first name and last name.
But he's in Silver
I'm getting real strong blacksmith's son vibes from Gary right now. Like
About Kakashi.
Kakashi.
Don't you guys want to check?
No, it's more along the lines of I don't want to load up Roll20 to look up a name. So please write it down so I don't have to
What
pay
was the
attention.
researcher?
Alana.
Marcel.
Listen.
Sarah Alana.
Marcel's a researcher.
He is a researcher. That's true.
Well,
Morton's a
what you guys
researcher.
Doing.
I'm
So
a researcher.
what is so you're going to Haven, yes?
Mhm.
Is the plan to just bamf out into the harbor? Like are you how close to Haven are you going to be? How obvious are you going to be? Your ship stands out a lot, guys.
Yeah, standard sneaky protocol.
I think it's okay if our ship stands out in Haven because we told
Sally, man.
Aliea that we
Your
were going to
sister.
be going to Haven, and she was going to give that tip to the church.
But the vampires don't know that we'll be in Haven, right?
No.
The
They
bad
also don't know that we will specifically.
And Haven doesn't know we're going to Haven, which is
secret.
Didier?
Deirdre.
I think we
Dear.
teleport above Haven, which we've done before, forever ago.
That's
Yeah,
right.
it way above the
Oh
Forever
yeah, by
ago.
the way, when you guys did that, you almost blew Haven up.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Wait, why do you know that?
Because when Gary was getting me familiar with the ship and how it functions, he gave me an example of when the ship, like, when the automatic functions, is when it just.
Cool, yeah. So we almost blew the time we almost
We've
blew Haven.
almost blown up the ship of Bun. But
No,
we
we
didn't.
first blew Haven up.
Well, okay.
The ship was gonna fire on Haven.
Hey.
because you teleported within range of Haven's superior beacon.
Oh.
And then Haven was like sending things like identify yourselves or else. And you didn't have any control of the ship's defenses. And the ship was like, I'm not identifying myself, so
That's Billy.
let's turn on or else.
He was the one who just started pressing buttons in a language he couldn't read.
Yeah, we kind of just fucked around.
We,
I'm surprised that went so well.
you.
I was
Different
not-
campaign it would have been.
I know. I think that all the time. We didn't have this ship and also died.
Or destroyed Haven.
Or destroyed
So
Haven.
my thought again is that we fly above Haven, actually identify ourselves and fly in like a normal ship, and also tell them we're not normal, not part of the church.
So, but the vampires are not theoretically there now. They're coming tonight.
I'm assuming they've set up.
Tonight is when the Didier's attack is supposed to be.
Right. But is
Me-
he like a guy hanging out in Haven and then he's going to attack, or is he a guy coming to Haven?
You're not sure.
But she told us where we
To me, it's like a subterfuge mission where they've infiltrated.
What has happened?
I just realized that there's something that will be very helpful for this next part. But
Well, actually, like, how much longer are we intending to go? Because I'm starting to get pretty tired.
okay, well we can pretty much stop here pretty soon.
Oh
I
wow,
think
it's
so, yeah.
almost 12:30.
I need to print off the map of Haven
Uh,
because it's all set up and all pretty on Roll20, which does not help
Mm.
us right here.
So, did Margot tell us where we would find him? I thought she did.
She did, but she didn't tell us like because you could be
She
somewhere.
gave us his spell signature,
Mm-hmm.
which is not the same as finding him.
Okay. But we can find him based off his spell signature, right?
We can. Well, no,
like
we
send
don't have a way to do that.
Oh, okay.
I've talked to Gary about this extensively.
But like, okay, so you can be like hanging out in a town, like acting like a peaceful citizen, and then attack.
Sleeper
Or-
cell.
Or you could come to a city you've never been to before and then attack. And I'm
But he's not attacking. He is
doing that ritual.
spreading a
Plague.
disease, which is, to me, like a very
Is he just
subtle thing to
dusted
do.
over
So,
the city?
so he's likely.
So the thing is that you have is that you know what his goals are,
But she wasn't able to tell us if he's already in the city or
and she doesn't really know where in the city he's going to be to
Right.
pursue those goals. Because
So-
one of the things from Margot is that she doesn't really she knows what he does, but she doesn't know like a lot of information about it. So it's like I know this guy is trying to spread this plague. How someone goes about spreading a plague in a major city, that's not something I do.
Grain. It's in the grain.
Send the grain, little boxes going green. So like she knows that there is that what plague he is spreading, and then where he is doing it.
Haven.
She doesn't know how he's going about those things. But she's basically giving you all the information. Here's all the people he's bringing with him. Here's his goal. Here's why he's doing what he's doing. So she doesn't know his plan,
gotcha.
but she knows enough of the elements that you might be able to figure out what his plan is from the elements that are there. Drock, are you on Roll20 right now?
I am. Yep. I see the map.
Can you see the map? Okay. So at least I wanted to make sure that he'd be able to see it, and then we'll print it off for everybody who's in person. Same thing. And then
Well,
we'll probably kind of end here.
yeah.
The question that I have for you guys for my prep for tomorrow is how you guys are approaching. So the plan from you sounds like you're going to be teleporting in close-ish to Haven, and then trying to approach like a quote-unquote normal ship, talking to their home beacon, getting docking permissions, as per usual. Yeah, you're doing everything above board. Is that your
Well, this.
I don't necessarily agree.
What would you like to do?
Like do the park in the woods and
But then what if we need
Well,
a hasty retreat?
Park on the woods.
Which is very
This is
likely.
a big ass city, bro. A big ass city.
Listen, we've got to pay for
All right,
parking.
let me give you some context. Let me give you some context. This is a massive city. To me, we park. We have allies in the city, at least two. Uh, we also have a blood whip expert on our ship who we can talk to and say, "Hey, how does blood whip spread?" So, getting that information from
Yeah,
him,
that's right.
we go, "Oh." We talk to our ally in the city. Go, "Oh, hey, where might this thing spread from?" And we go, "Okay," and then we go to that place. We scout it out. We don't attack directly because, as Gary has told me, we would get fucked if we did. And we might consider committing a war crime by blowing up a building.
okay.
For the greater good.
I might have done some light war crime.
Point, I'm also very tired.
So
I'll just agree to me.
I said, let's pause here. You guys go to Haven, and then that'll be the first thing that we pick up on next time we play.
Okay.
Is how about this? Because I thought if we can make the decision pretty quickly, so I can
Never.
prep. Cool. If we can't make the decision quickly, that's fine. We'll start with making the decision at the beginning of next session, and I will have a cool map for everybody printed out. Because I am proud of this map.
It's a nice map.
You make it.
I did make it.
Is the city map?
No, it's a map of the rain. And the rivers.
Sarcasm is the lowest form of humor.
According to people who don't understand it. That's
But yes. All right. We'll stop the recording. We'll end session there. Drock, what is your life? What does your schedule look like for tomorrow?
I'm free all day.
You're pretty all day.
Nice.
Do you have any particular
Wow, flex.
do you have any particular time that you get up, want to be up?
No, I've been sleeping in till 7 a.m. So, anytime really is
And?
fine. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, my sleep schedule is like pretty short, so.
Cool. Well, tomorrow I definitely want to make waffles.
I'm down with that.
I wanted to make
I
waffles this
also
morning.
want you to.
You also want me to make waffles.